Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. But more importantly, blue morning to you because, of course, it is the Blue Morning Show. Today, it is a happy day for Chelsea fans all over the world, given that we've come to the end of the conundrum called the sale of the club. It is, you could say, a bittersweet day. That was last night or yesterday, for whatever, however you want to see it. Again, because we're losing what we remain the best owner of football clubs in the whole world. Again, but we're happy that again nothing wrong happened to our beloved club. We've come to the end of the conundrum. You could call it the sale of the club, but yeah, that we're here. We're back, and I believe we're back as stronger and even better. So today we're going to talk about quite a lot. We'll talk about the Lukaku situation. We'll talk about the fact that the club is close to wrapping up the signing of Jules Kande and also Usman Dembele. And then we'll go into the process, which is because this show is the rebuilding series where we simulate the rebuilding process, but it's still the Blue Morning Show. So sit back and relax and let's get into the show. Yes, people, again, a blue morning to you all. Welcome back to the Blue Morning Show. I hope we'll have a brilliant show today. And again, don't forget what I told you all yesterday. Let us know how we can make the show even better. One suggestion I got is to get a studio engineer, and that's, you can say, an ingenious idea. I will get a studio engineer to help me to catch up easily with the inputs in the chat because the Blue Morning Show is an interactive show. So let's get into it. I'll start by looking at the comment in the chat because that's how we usually start of the day. I have Matthew Lee Benjamin. He says, hi, guys. Hi to you too. And of course, Leon Lane, who's always one of the first to be here, Blue Morning Coach, and all the people in the chat. Nice to see you. And my brother Phantom says that CP, please send a string here to Phantom of Many a tweet. I have done that already. I hope you've seen it. Again, Chelsea Fans Club says it's just a swap. Romelu and Lautaro. Good luck to that. I don't think Inter would risk that. Inter understands that the Lukaku experiment at Chelsea isn't working out. So they know where the one. They know we're desperate to get rid of him. I think because the Inter is the only viable option, given that we still owe them 70 million. Again, if we want him to go along there, I think it will work out. But to sell him to other clubs, Inter would could care less how much we're selling him for. All they know is that we owe them 70 million plus. So yeah, Inter is the only viable option. I hope the rumors are true, but we'll get into it. We'll get into it in a bit. Chelsea must move quickly to fix all lines. Again, for obvious reason, the priority will be the back line, where we'll be losing quite a lot of players. You could say how many? I think five. Marcos Alonso will be leaving. What's his name? Antonio Rudiger has already left. Andreas Christensen, you know, on his way. Again, that's a three. That's a chance we'd also lose Cesar Azpilicueta, but I think he's considerate. He hasn't come out to say he'd believe, and chances are he stays. I think his decision. He's waiting to see how quickly the club. That is the club are able to solve the defensive line issue, and that's how much he loves the club. Morning all, it's a good blue morning. Again, I don't think anybody else can say that better. It is indeed a good blue morning. Says, I hope everyone is well. I am well. Again, I can never, I don't think I can be better. We all have suffered quite a lot. And again, if you watched the show we did regarding the news that the club has been sold that Todd Boehly is the new owner of Chelsea Football Club. you'd understand my story, how I've suffered, and I know we all have suffered too. Ryan Moore says, good morning, blue morning to you, Ryan. Bless up the channel, bless up to you too, before you. It's been a minute. I hope everything is okay with you. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. Big up, bro. And me, big up, bro. Me, how are you doing? Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Again, hello says, I see, nice to see you back again. Big up, Coachila. Felix, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. And it says, good morning, Blues. Pacman SA, big up to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. And Jacob Juma, good blue morning, joining from Kenya. Nice to see you, my Kenyan brother. I hope you're doing well too. Nick Blue says, big up, ladies and gentlemen. That's really inclusive, Nick, to say a big up, to say ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I like to see that. New here and good morning. Blue morning to you, Abdul Aziz Al Hassan. Nice to see you here, my brother. Feel at home, brother. Speak your mind, and anytime I see your input, as long as it's aligned with the topic, I will try to address it. Not forgetting Lautaro. Lewa is available for 40 to 50 million. At what age? That's something else you have to consider. He doesn't have sell-on value. It's a risk that when you take it, if it doesn't work out, you're stuck with it. And then Namdi Okongwu, I think this is the first time I'm seeing you here, but I want to say welcome to the channel. Feel free, express yourself, feel at home, because it is a democracy here. And it's a comment in, please, if you haven't, be sure to like the video. We have just 18 likes while we have around 38 people watching, so we can actually do better than that. Again, this is people saying hello to each other. New dawn, a new day for the new Blues, a new era. And again, we can only get better. That's my argument. It is indeed a new dawn. Says, good morning, bro. Watching from Texas. Yes, my fellow American. Nice to see you here. I hope you're enjoying the show. And again, I appreciate seeing you around. I think we may be able to do the draw for the Roman Abramovich tribute contest, since the promise was that if the moment the sale process is complete, we will do the draw, and the Roman Abramovich tribute contest will start, of which the winner will get to win $150. Again, I am always all right, but you shouldn't allow people like that on. Again, big up all, and big up to you all. Sorry, I have a bit of a cold, but I know I'm fine. Now, let's start a talk by talking about the Lukaku links, the rumors that Lukaku may be going back to Inter. I think whilst we've talked about it here, and we thought maybe it could just be rumors, but I think it's gaining steam, which means it's like the likelihood that it is true. It's actually the truth, and I hope it happens, because if he does go back to Inter Milan, it will be good for him. It will be good for us. He's not working, and the manager has shown signs that he's not willing, to tweak the system to accommodate him. And also, he's struggled, to fit in how the manager likes to play traditionally. So I think the best outcome, what will be best for both parties, will be for him to go to where the manager will be willing, to accommodate him, maybe change things around to accommodate him, and he'd be playing up more as often as he'd like to be playing, and then get a chance to do well at the World Cup. Because like somebody argued whether he plays it or not, I think Belgium doesn't have any player that's better than him in the attacking area, so they still call him up again. That's my argument. If you're in the chat, let me know what you think about the Lukaku rumors, whether it is something you'd like to see happen. I'd say I'd like to see it happen. And Stefano Austin says, let's go Blues. Blue is the color. Yes, we are buzzing with happiness. And again, I don't know how else to say it, but congratulations to Todd Boehly. At the same time, like Nick Blue did say it yesterday, it is a bittersweet moment because we're losing one of the best owners in football. And the truth is there will never, ever be another Roman Abramovich. But all we can do is just move on and do him proud. Hopefully, Todd Boehly will do him proud, but not, destroying his legacy, but rather build on it, keep winning, and do all he can to make sure Chelsea will remain a force to be reckoned with in the footballing world. And Oriabule Joshua, good morning, bro. Watching from Nigeria. Yes, nice to see you here, my Niger brother. Always love to see my Nigerian brothers. Feel at home and express yourself. Says, honestly, coach, at this point, I'd rather have anything with heartbeat up to. We're so desperate for a striker who can bag 20 to 30 goals a season. Here's the thing. I don't really think if Thomas Tuchel agrees to let Romelu Lukaku go, I don't think he'd be looking for a replacement. I think the option he'd go for will be bringing back Ampadu. Why did I say that? Because we only have little to spend in this window, and we're losing about 4 or 5 defenders. So he'd be, hits again for obvious reasons. We all know the priority of the club will be, to sort out the defensive area of our team. So I don't think he's spending in the attacking area, especially for a striker. Maybe forwards, but not really a striker. Even if Lukaku leaves, I don't see us going for another striker. Good morning, again, Akira. Good morning to you and to my brother Mikhail. Nice to see you here. Always to see you whenever you have time to join us. Outgoing players in the news more than incoming. Yes, certain things. Again, outgoing, but not really in the defensive area. If we are going to sign players in the attacking area, then a few of them have to leave. Starting attackers have to leave. But I think a lot of the deadwoods, like some people would like to phrase it, call them, would leave. Some already will be leaving on a free. Some we can get a bit of some money from them and add it to a transfer budget. And I don't call that a war chest because I don't think it will be enough to buy actually 3 world-class players. Again, that's me. Again, I've asked the question. Again, before we continue, please, if you haven't, be sure to like the video. We have 26 likes now, and I know we can do better than that because we have 51 people watching already. So if you haven't liked the video and also subscribe to the channel, right now we're shooting for 3,000 subscribers. At the moment, we are 2,131. So thank you for 2,000 plus subscribers. It wouldn't be possible without you guys. Inter is meeting Lukaku's lawyers today for a possible switch back to Inter Milan. Yes, we're going to talk about it today. I will be addressing the issue myself. If anybody joins me on the panel, fine, then I can discuss the issue with the person. Blue Morning says, and life are no limits. Oh, how I love that name. Yes, in life, no limits. You can achieve whatever you want to achieve. If you set your mind on it, believe me, it will come to pass. Dap up the likes. Yes, people, dap up the likes, says Rian Morris. Thank you very much. And again, I'm morning all. There's an issue with Inter relating to what they can spend. Tax dictate. Rumor is a loaner for a year, then a 50 to 60 fee. Zahi wants him Dybala, an alternative. A dumped agent uses a lawyer. Again, I think for 50 to 60, I think I'd go for it. Given the fact he's how old is Romelu Lukaku now? I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to check it. Given the fact that he's not that young, I think he's sitting 30 or 29. Let me know if you're in the chart. Again, the fact is he doesn't really have seller value. So if that's the opportunity that Inter Milan are offering us, I'd take it. I wouldn't waste any time taking that deal. It's a good deal, because it starts with a loan, which means that they'd be paying a part of his salary, and then buying it for 50 to 60 million. It's not a bad deal. I think it's something that I'd like to see us do. Again, if you're in the chat, let us know where you're watching from. That gives us, that's an encouragement to us to know where we're able to reach people that are Chelsea supporters. That makes us happy. Again, I'm going to highlight this because it's an important comment by True Blue, and I really do like it. Morning all there. Again, I've read that. Liam says, if it's true, if it is true, I hope it happens quickly, coach, as we don't want to be looking for a replacement all summer long against again and getting someone in with no preseason with the squad. Like I said, worse. Yep. Again, we need, if it's going to happen, let it happen immediately. I don't want it to take too long. The longer it takes, the more it puts us in a very, very tight corner which means we may not be able to sign a replacement if he leaves. But again, something that I've said before, Lukaku leaving is not a concern for me. If he leaves, fine, and I don't think it will be right to go for another striker. Why we have Ampadu Broja, because Tuchel, again, I've said this like a zillion times on this channel. Thomas Tuchel isn't the one who relies on traditional strikers or what you can call an out-and-out striker. Even you could go as far back as Mainz to find out he doesn't play with an out-and-out striker, or to Borussia Dortmund and to PSG where he had Mauro Icardi, he had Cavani, and he doesn't use them that much. And again, Cavani actually had to leave under Thomas Tuchel. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he left PSG when Thomas Tuchel was still the coach. So again, it wouldn't make sense, to bring in another striker if Romelu Lukaku leaves. But that begs the question: would Ampadu Broja want to come back to Chelsea? Like True Blue had argued before, I don't think he would, because he look at it and say this man usually don't look like utilizing out-and-out strikers. But I think Ampadu Broja's case is a bit different, given the fact that I think you could argue, no disrespect to Romelu Lukaku, he's a fine player, but Broja is a more complete a striker than Lukaku is, even though he's still young. Lukaku is more experienced than him, but Broja is better in that aspect. Now, Abdullah Sisson says he wants to go, and it will be good for both parties. Yep, I don't think, team if you prefer, I don't think he will get more playing time next season, so it's good for him. I think his situation might actually get worse next season, because Tuchel now has the opportunity to bring in the players he likes, the players that can help him execute his approach to the game very well. Because right now you could argue we don't have those people, although he likes most of them and he was able to achieve quite a lot with them. I do think if you give him the opportunity, he switch up a lot of them. File Diazo, Boogeyman, my brother, says, I just hope he has the blessings of CFC. I think that's a zillion, a 100 plus $1 million question, given again the interview, how people interpreted it. Also, given sometimes when you see him on the pitch, he plays like he's disinterested, and all the nonsense we'll be hearing. I hope he leaves with a blessing. Again, it hasn't just worked out for both parties. I hope he himself sees it as Drinkwater, who wrote a farewell message that's actually touching before his representative started talking to other clubs. Again, thank you for that comment. I had a mix of feeling about this Lukaku saga. We shouldn't be losing top players at this point, because we are in the process of building something solid moving forward. Again, Lukaku is our top scorer. Yes, that's the truth. But the fact is, again, he hasn't been our best player. Again, we've played better football in his absence and created more chances and actually scored more goals. So again, look, given that Tuchel also likes to work with statistics, you may have looked at it and say this was a mistake. If Lukaku stays and it works out, fine, because I support the club, not the individual. Nick, coming back to you, interviewgate indeed, says Mikael. I was looking forward to you saying something funny, and there you go. Nick, coming to you. By the way, welcome to the panel. How are you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm fine, Coach. A little bit better today.
Yeah, as you can see how I'm sounding, I have cold, and I hope to get better as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Again, I'm glad I haven't lost my voice, and I actually had some drink yesterday after the good news. So I want to ask you, Nick, the Lukaku the talks of Lukaku moving back to Inter Milan, I think it's gone beyond the rumors. I think it's the truth. I think they're looking at it, and like that coming from True Blue says, it's an option to take him on loan at first, and then we'll pay them. Then it will be, I don't understand the 50 to 60 million aspect of it, or maybe signing him back or so, because we have a deal in place. So he's our player. So if they want him back, they'd have to sign him. I think it's gone beyond the rumors. And as you can see here, this is on Sky Sports, and also there's a Sky Italia too. I've read something that said Inter to meet Lukaku's lawyers over potential Italy return. Inter Milan will meet Romelu Lukaku's lawyer on Tuesday to inquire about the feasibility of a potential move back to Serie A, according to Sky Italia. And like True Blue said, Inzaghi wants him. So, Nick, tell us, it's going to be on the rumors. Your thoughts on that? Have I lost you, Nick? Yep, it looks like I've lost Nick, and he is coming in with a second. Nick's, so I'm going to have to remove the other one. You go ahead, Nick. You tell me, what do you think? Because okay, it's gone beyond the rumors. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, we heard earlier on, Sky Sports came on and said, and Fabrizio Romano also said that Lukaku staying at Chelsea. Then after an hour or more, Sky Sports came out and said
I'm listening.
He's going to leave. Yeah, so they've been saying he's staying. They're just guessing. They don't know what they're talking about. No journalist has, or Sky Sports. You know, nothing's for sure yet. As far as we know, nothing's come out of Chelsea. You know, and if, you know, there's a possibility he does go. If he does go, they have to sort all this money out. Chelsea will lose a lot of money. Unless he does a loan deal, they do a deal or something. But it's not gone yet. He hasn't gone nowhere. I don't believe Sky Sports. I don't believe Romano or any other journalist, because he was saying.
Let me ask you this, Nick.
Can I see what he said on the? You can bring it up and see exactly what he said. He said he's saying. So,
let me ask you this, Nick. Again, let me ask you this. The truth is, I know you like him. I know you'd like him to succeed, and I am the same. He's Chelsea player. If he does well, the club does well. It's as simple as that. But the fact is, it hasn't worked. And again, most of us seem to be ignorant to the way Tuchel likes to approach the game. He doesn't really use out-and-out strikers. So why are we being stubborn about it? So it would be good for Lukaku to leave. It would be good for the club. And keeping him, I think, will cost us more money because of his salary.
Yeah, like I said. Yeah, of course. You know, I don't mind. If he doesn't want to be here, he has to go. I keep saying it. And, you know, and if Tuchel doesn't, change his mind now, he doesn't want him, then they have to get rid of him somehow. And Tuchel, you said he doesn't like strikers, but he's after Lewandowski. Chelsea want Lewandowski. He's an out-and-out striker, number 9.
A different type of striker.
Yeah, I know, but
Lukaku cannot measure him in terms of, again, I'm not going to I'm not going to start talking about Lukaku's deficiencies or how Lewandowski is better. But the truth is, it doesn't look like it's going to work for him at Chelsea Football Club. It is just as simple as that.
I know. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but, I don't mind as long as we get Lewandowski. If he goes, we'll have to get someone. You can't rely on Broja and the rest of our attack.
We can actually rely on Broja. Here's why I say we can rely on Broja.
No, you can't rely on Broja. He's too young.
Okay, can I explain why?
There's no reason why you can explain why. Because you can't rely on it.
Nick, do we really need a striker now? No, I get your point, but do we really need a striker now?
Who's scoring our goals? Is Mount scoring, Havertz, or who do, because we need a striker. We might be getting Dembele as well, but he's not enough. If we want to challenge City, of course we need a top striker like Lewandowski.
If you didn't say that, I was going to ask you your ID. You think I don't know that was what you're trying to say, Nick? But that's, by the way, I get your point. I'm going to catch up with the chat. But Nick, be honest with me. You're a human being. You are a human being. Wouldn't it be better for Lukaku just to leave?
Yes.
And go to where it will work for him?
I said it yesterday. I said it last night on Max Burton channel. It's better he goes. He doesn't want to be here. We can see he doesn't want to be here. Let him go. We can look. If we lose some money, we lose. Chelsea have to take the losses and move on. If we want to, like Boehly wants to win, he keeps saying, "I want to win." I'm not challenging. I want to win. So can't get Lewandowski and stop all this talk. He's throwing me mad, really. But
Yeah. Understood,
so
Nick.
all we
Go ahead.
talk about the last few months is Lukaku.
Yeah.
Lukaku this,
For
Lukaku that.
obvious reasons.
Yes, but I know. But like I said, maybe we are all wrong, and then he could start next and prove us wrong. I don't mind that. Like yourself, you don't mind if he
No, I
starts
don't
scoring
mind.
and
I have to be honest.
But he doesn't look like it, like you said.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he even get a chance to to prove himself.
You and me,
again,
I backed him all the way. I backed him when people were slating him, hating him, calling him names. That wasn't right. But it's a shame because he is a great player. It's just the system doesn't suit him, and it's up to Tuchel. End of the day, it's up to Tuchel what he wants to do, which players he wants. So
yeah,
let's see what happens.
We already know what he wants to do.
Yeah, that's right.
He doesn't play with an out and out striker. That's obvious. Again, I wish him well, and I know you do wish him well. But it's difficult to tell whether all Chelsea fans wish him well, given what has happened. And he did something that he left open for interpretation. People, as always, interpret things the way they want. Nick, just quickly, I think it's important. Let's talk about the rumors that Chelsea are close to wrapping up the signing of Ousmane Dembele. Again, I actually made a video. Again, that's not me hating the players. We're called Chelsea perspective for one reason. We try to see things from the club's own perspective, or things we think will benefit the club or will cause a problem for the club. We've talked about reasons why we think the club are not going to sign him, but we're not going to go into it. And then we had Bobby on the panel who talked about redemption. We're humans after all, and we all make a mistake. Chances are that some of us also who's calling for the head of Dembele has actually done worse in secret. But the truth remains, what he did is not something you can easily sweep under the floor. But thanks to Bobby for talking about redemption. And after all, he was a kid. He's still a kid when that happened, although he's not I don't know how else to put it. He's not a baby and must have learned, the lesson of his life after that incident. Because the truth remains, I was concerned really from the perspective of, sponsors. Because Rakuten, which but one of Barcelona's biggest sponsors, did say something. That was why when Barcelona started, published the apology from Ousmane Dembele and Antoine Griezmann. Again, I thought maybe that will actually be an issue. I think it's still probably one of the reasons why we didn't complete his signing during the January window, because he would still be on a free. He had the right to talk with us during the January transfer window, but maybe the club looked at it and see, here, this guy's going to be a PR nightmare. And if he comes, he's still going to be a PR nightmare, because just as DJ Saab said, Chelsea Football Club, we had a racial discrimination issue in the past, and we're still paying for it. And every now and then it does come up in the media. Okay, so if he comes again, I think he will, until the club, implements a strategic PR, that's something, implements a strategic PR approach, to get people to look beyond the mistake the kid made in the past. Maybe like Bobby suggested, donating something to a non-profit organization in the country where that incident happened, and then put out a heartfelt apology, not like the one people argued that no, that isn't really that is not good enough. I think I'd be willing to look beyond it because he's a fine player. But another thing to talk about is his injury, record. Nick, can you talk about the fact that there's a chance Ousmane Dembele becomes a Chelsea player as soon as a week or two?
Yeah, it's a big chance, really big. That's what I'm hearing. And what he done in the past, he's only, he didn't really know you. I don't think he meant it that much. He didn't meant, what he said. But, like Bobby said, there's always a way to get around that, to go and put some money into any charity, about these things. he can do that if he comes to Chelsea, if he wants, and he can prove himself differently. When he comes out to talk and when he's playing, he can show us, that he's not a racial person. Yeah, and he's. I think he's one of the to be one of the first with Kundi to come in. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, there's a chance he comes in before Jules Koundé. Again, but is he a fine player? He's a fine player, and he had, his best form was under Thomas Tuchel at Dortmund. So hopefully he comes.
Tuchel does. We know Tuchel wants him, so it's a big. I think we will be going after him. I don't mind. The injuries, have to, we have to see what happens with that. But he can overcome that, I hope.
Yeah, and surprisingly, he hasn't been injured for quite a while now. I hope he stays like that. But go ahead, Nick, round up so that I can catch up the chat and then bring in other people on the panel. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I'm just hearing something now, actually, about Jesus. Is it true? I don't know. There's a speculation that we're going after Jesus as well. So, at the moment, the speculation with every single player on the market. That's what's going to happen now.
I don't doubt the rumors. Again, I wouldn't doubt it, but again, I wouldn't say I believe it, because you could argue Jesus is more of a Tuchel player than Lukaku is. So if we're really losing Lukaku, I wouldn't be surprised to hear that we're going for Gabriel Jesus. Go ahead, Nick, so I can bring in others.
The big rumors, we could go for Jesus instead of Lewandowski now, because Lewandowski is set on Barcelona. That's what I'm hearing. But it could be true. I don't mind Jesus. He's a goal scorer. He's a good player. And I'm sure he will score more than Lukaku at the moment. And, and now with Haaland at City, he's going to be frozen out. So why not? He's a great Brazilian player. He plays for Brazil, and I'm all for that, really. If we can't get Lewandowski, I will go for Jesus. Okay. Not Sterling like some of our brilliant panel was suggesting. That's all how right. Yeah.
All right, let me catch up. Okay, go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Randolph.
Because I don't hate Sterling. He's not a Chelsea player. He hasn't got the DNA to be a Chelsea player. I keep saying that, but we have people who don't know what they're talking about, I'm afraid. I don't want to mention them. You know them yourself. So, not this.
All right. Let me catch up with the chat and I'll come back to the panel. I want to say welcome to Phantom and CFC. Stephen, my brother, and, again, Stephen, you know how much I love you, and thank you for all, coming onto the panel, Phantom. The same thing to you. Now, this says Lukaku is 29, so again, which means he literally doesn't have selling value, and then also given his form, Abdulaziz says 29. Thank you all, guys. From Trinidad and Tobago, Stefano Austin. Nice to see you here. I think I've seen you here before. And again, we've gained almost 15 subscribers already. So if you haven't subscribed, please be sure to subscribe and also like the video. We are right now at 56 likes, while we have 133 people watching. I think we can do better than that. Pacman said, I'd accept the Inter deal. I think we've moved past Lukaku, but I agree. I think it's a good deal, really. We should accept it because Inter is the only people that we can sell Lukaku to at this point and not lose too much. Loan it to them and not lose too much. But to other clubs, it's not going to be that simple because Inter could care less whether they could care less whether we made that money or not. They want how much we owe them, so we don't want to risk that. Chelsea are reportedly looking at Dembele, Darwin Núñez, Jonathan David from Lille, and Raheem Sterling. I think the most likely to join us will be Ousmane Dembele. Why? Because it's come out that he's not going to join PSG. Again, the question remains: is he going to take a pay cut if he comes to Chelsea? I don't know, because he's on a very high wage and he's not going to come cheap. Plus, the truth is, even though people are coming to you on the free, you still got to pay them sign-on fees. Again, I will quickly try to catch up and come to people on the panel. And there you go, my brother CFC for him. Nice to see you here, bro. How are you doing? I hope you're doing it well. And if you're watching, please be sure to go check out CFC Fahim's YouTube channel. We met as content creators, but over time we've become brothers because he's always objective. He doesn't clickbait. And again, please, I want to say thank you for 62 likes. Keep liking the video. Keep liking the video as you come. Like the video and subscribe if you haven't. Let's have some fun together. Mikhail said, how much we still owe Inter Milan and Manchester United for Lukaku? I think what I know is that we owe Inter around 70 mil, which is huge, which makes it even difficult to sell Lukaku to another club because Inter, they don't care if you sold him for $10 or not, they want their 70 mil. And he says, I just don't want us paying his wages while he's an Inter player. If it's true, again, his words, he should take a pay cut, go to Inter on loan with an obligation to buy for 50 to 70 mil because our losses, cut our losses and move on. And again, I agree with you. A good one, Coach John Farley. Nice to see you, brother. How you doing? Blessings to you and blue money to you. Says, good morning. No to Ndidi. He's injury prone, no technical ability to play position. You could say he's not the best on the ball, but in terms of winning the ball, he would do that and he would destroy opposition move. But we get to that one by one. Again, I've read that. Let me try and catch up and come to the panel because there's quite some stuff to read. True Blue says, Morning Pac-Man, we're linked with anything that breeds Kunde and Dembele are most likely. That's the truth. Like I said, Dembele is the most likely to join us. We still need great forwards who can put the ball in the net. We look into the relegated clubs, and they would be so much expensive. Don, I love you, but I don't just like what you said. Again, even if we don't sign any strikers, we'll still be fine. Again, I will not advocate for us to sign a striker should we lose Lukaku, because it's just a waste of time. Because Thomas Tuchel has said, really, he doesn't. He's proven that he doesn't, like to play with the fine strikers. I have a feeling Lukaku is not leaving. I'm scared if that happens. I'm not going to be happy. Bravo, Roman. Yes, thank you very much to Roman. Please, if you're in the chat, take a second just to type thank you, to Roman Abramovich. That's not easy. Again, I say, so let me just read this. It's because that's absolute nonsense. Again, it comes down to the player's mentality, because you can overcome anything in life as long as you work towards it. Says, Coach, I love when you say you support the club and not the player. I wish all our fan base would think the same. I say this, their players' agenda. Yes, that's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth for me. I know that's the truth for Nick, everybody on the panel, on all this, not the individual. Again, Mikhail said, okay, let's say we get Kunde, Dembele. What's next? Are those two enough, or do we need 3 or 4 more new names academy to provide specific solutions or more problems? Okay, let's try and tackle this question quickly. Then I'll try and catch up because we're here to talk about the midfield today, but again, we're still going to talk about transfers. That's part of today's show. Now, I'm going to start with you, Phantom. Can you address the comment on the screen?
I want to talk about Dembele.
Go ahead. Talk Dembele if that's what you choose to talk about.
Dembele, well, here's the thing, okay? He said these racist comments. I don't know if we're going to keep Yokohama Tires as a sponsor.
Not just Yokohama, Samsung still. I think Samsung. There's all the Asian companies.
Yeah. So that's a big deal. But I'm not sure how to feel about Dembele. Okay, because when people attack Chinese people, I automatically just consider them enemies, and I wish them death. But he didn't really attack a Chinese person. He attacked a Japanese person. So I'm not sure that I'm that angry at him because he didn't. I mean, he's attacking the Asian, but it's like he's hitting my neighbor rather than hitting me. So I don't know how to feel. I'm still working out my feelings about him. And if he has apologized, then if he's not, everybody makes, stupid comments, especially if they're drunk. And I don't know if this one comment, if it's a repeat thing like the Ricketts, where they're just repeat racists, they are racist. Whereas if Dembele is what I call a one-off comment, there's a possibility that I can just forgive him, but he would have to come out and do a mea culpa, and like maybe donate money to some Japanese charity or something like that. In order for things to be all right. I just don't really, I'm not sure how to feel right now about this, because I really didn't think we would get Dembele, because he's an injury-prone person who isn't that good to begin with. So if we're going to get Dembele, we might as well just re-sign Eden Hazard, right? That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I get your argument, and I think it's something that he has advices, and believe me, he has learned his lesson. Again, even if the club is concerned, I think they have a plan to help him, find closure, because it's something that's going to hurt him until he does something extraordinary to sort it out. And I hope he does, because he's such a fine player. And when that happens, I think it's ignorant, really. It's ignorant, really, because I've seen comedians make joke of how other cultures talk. To him, I think as a celebrity, as somebody who's in the public eye, he should have been more careful, about what he says or does in such a situation. It's not like he cursed them, but even at that, we know how easily, again, you don't do such. And
question, which Spanish team does he play for? Is it Barcelona?
Barcelona.
Okay, if he was so good, why wouldn't Barcelona just want to keep him? I mean,
he's the one. Listen, he's the one that's refused to renew, and he's on such a high wage. They don't want to keep him because they're in financial stress. They want to lose him. They want to lose Antoine Griezmann, so they can bring in new players that they will pay less. So that's the situation. Steve, let me because Nick has spoken and you haven't spoken. I want you to quickly address this comment here, because I want us to catch up to catch up with the updates and then go into rebuild and the midfield. Here's the comment here on the screen, Steve.
I can't really see it. Is it about
let me read it for you.
and Dembele?
Yeah,
that's all I can see. Sorry.
Yeah, he says, okay, let's say we get Kunde, Dembele. What's next? Are those two enough, or do we need 3 or 4 more new names, academy, to provide specific solution or more problems?
I think we need another midfielder.
So not just defenders. And actually, do you actually think 2 defenders will be enough?
I think if Tuchel wants to stick with the back 3, I think we need 3.
I see your argument. Okay, I'll come back to the panel again. Let me quickly catch up.
What I was gonna say about the guy was saying about what Dembele being racist. Do you guys remember what Kennedy did on the preseason?
Yes, it's similar. It's no difference. But you could argue this. Let's talk about this, Steve. The bigger you are in the eye of the public, or the bigger the bigger the celebrity you are, the more the bad stuff you do will be. Kennedy isn't close to Dembele. He isn't as popular as Dembele. And again, I think Chelsea handled it better than Barcelona did.
Very true.
You remember that?
Yeah.
The moment Kennedy made that mistake, he was sent home.
Yeah, he was.
Exactly. So that shows the Chinese people that Chelsea respects them in the first place. But when Dembele's incident happened, I think you could argue Barcelona actually tried to cover it up.
Yeah, they did, because it was with Griezmann
exactly.
as well.
Nobody heard about it until somehow the video, I don't know, I think they only leaked the video because they wanted them out. They want him and Antoine Griezmann out.
And I think Barcelona lost their sponsor because of it as well.
Rakuten, I think Rakuten, they didn't lose them, but they said something. They asked them, okay, what are you So that has always been my concern. You get the point. It's not, I like the player, and I know he would do well under Thomas Tuchel. And you could argue we have a better medical team than Barcelona. If it comes to us, maybe Tuchel knows how to manage him and get the best out of him. You wanted to add something, Phantom, before I go to
I
Nick?
just wanted to
Yes,
say about
no.
Lukaku. I'm hearing that Chelsea want a 20 million loan fee plus an
From
obligation.
Inter.
No,
20 million loan fee with an obligation to buy for 70 mil. If not, he's not going anywhere.
with regard to the monkey comment, it's kind of ironic because Rakuten supports is the sponsor for a Chinese baseball team called the Monkeys in Taiwan. So it's
really
kind
hilarious.
of because monkey is not derogatory in any way in Chinese society. It's one of the 12.
Okay, you're talking about the case. You're talking about the case of Kennedy.
No, I'm talking about the word monkey is actually the name of a mascot. You know how like the Tottenham or the Spurs or whatever? Well, the Rakuten Monkeys is a baseball team in Taiwan.
Yeah, wow, 7 whole months. Yikes, that's almost as long as Pulisic. I think he's been fine for a while, and I think, like I said, under Thomas Tuchel, I think he'd be a fine player. And again, I don't think it's not. Again, my only concern is there's a chance the club is also concerned because he's a PR nightmare. He comes with that. I'm going to go to Nick a bit to round up the Dembele talk so we can move on. Dembele is better off now, with injuries. Barcelona.
I just wanted to ask Nick if he's okay because he was on the space and someone was going at him. So I just hope you're all right, Nick.
Yes,
I think he's fine. He's got thick skin. I think Nick is fine.
These people, they shouldn't be allowed on.
I kicked him off anyway. I kicked him.
All right. We'll go back to that. I think Nick is fine. He's a big boy.
But it doesn't bother me. They can do what they want because everyone knows I'm not any racist.
Yeah, so, Nick, can I go ahead? Everybody knows we're not here to talk about it. You're giving them your time. We don't give them our time because it's not worth it. You know that, right?
Yeah,
are we bringing the back? Are we bringing the back a new medical staff with Dembele? I think he himself would know what they did to keep him fit. So he comes with that knowledge to our medical team. Plus, I think we have a better medical team. From Namibia, nice to see you, my African brother. And if you're watching, we'll have 74 likes now. If you haven't, please do like the stream and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're approaching 2,200 subscribers, which means we're not far away from 3,000. Let's see how many subscribers we get today, because our injury record is pathetic in the past 2 or 3 years. That's the truth. I think we don't want any more of that. The defense scored lots of goals last season, and some of those players now left. We have serious underperforming forward. Wow. This is a delicious comment. I think I have to highlight it, so we'll talk about it later. Again, I've highlighted about 5 comments. We'll talk. One was from Mikhail. It says, I'd rather have Mane than Sterling. Again, you could argue that, but do you think Mane would want to come to Chelsea? It remains to be seen. And his salary demand will probably be very high. Even Sterling will be demanding quite a lot. Almost twice as much as what he's earning at Man City right now. I somehow bad vibes with Sterling. Again, same with me, but some people want him. And again, a big up to the Queen of Chelsea Perspective. Nice to see you here. Much love to you. I appreciate all that you do for this club. John Furley, Drinkwater is a free agent. Yep, and he wrote, you need to read his farewell message. It's touching, actually. I think he was so brutally honest. Again, even though it makes him look like I don't want to call him names. So then, again, let me catch up here. Good afternoon, gentlemen. The first people who needed to go out from Chelsea are the pathetic scouts. Again, that's another argument. Some people would argue. Let me see what else. Mane, I expect Mane to go abroad. Exactly. Bayern, most likely. But it remains to be seen if Bayern will be willing to pay that much money. So it could be, he may well end up at Real Madrid or Barcelona. Gabriel Jesus works super hard, constantly pressing, decent finishing, good movement, good on the ball if you miss that, needs to improve on his decision making. Again, Tuchel can't make him a better player. Coachila, free cost move in wages usually. What's new on Hakimi? Anybody on updates on the news that were linked with Hakimi? Is that true, or is that just rumors? Anybody on the panel?
It's rumours, sir, coach. Rumours, like.
You okay, Nick?
Yeah, no, I was just saying it's rumours. There's no concrete evidence on that.
Hakimi's wife doesn't want to come to England, so
yeah.
So that's another point too.
I think it's a fake rumor because Simon Johnson was writing news saying Reece James could leave when his dad said on a Patreon that he would never leave Chelsea. So that article for me was a load of rubbish. There was a lot of stuff.
I do believe that. I do believe that. Let me catch up with the chat again. Go ahead. You were saying something, Stephen. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff in that article. I think Simon Johnson made a lot of stuff up in that. It's like the Inter Milan striker as well. We're never going to get him. It's not going to happen.
So you're talking about Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd let him go. They actually want Lukaku back, and you think they give you Martinez because Lukaku is literally nothing without Martinez. But that's, by the way, who cares about Hakimi? He rejected us last year. He can go to wherever Christensen goes to. Again, that's the truth. You don't go to people that reject you. It looks like you're desperate. Big up, fellas, and big up to my brother, Almighty Blues, Almighty Sports Plus. Please go check out his channel and be sure to subscribe. And when you do, let him know I sent you. Right now, we have 84 likes. We're moving really fast today, and I appreciate all that. Again, you guys are absolute legend. If you're happy that we have a new owner, again, I must say it's a bittersweet moment for us because we're losing one of the best one of the best of owners in football world. Again, but we at least nothing bad happened to us. We survived it because he wanted to be sure that he hands us over to to somebody that would take good care of the club, and he did over us. So if you're happy that we have a new owner that would take good care of the club, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's keep growing together. I'm on Les again. Good morning, Pac-Man. Please let me know if Pac-Man is a mod or not. Please let me know. And again, let's hit the like button. Please do hit the like button. And hello, everyone. Says Chairman, nice to see you here. I appreciate you always finding time to join us. And I hope you're not in the kitchen today. As usual, you tell us that you're in the kitchen again. But if you are, it is fine. You just made me hungry that day. That's all I wanted to say. Morning, Almighty Sports again. If there's anything to address here, if not, I'll come back to the panel. When did he attack anyone? Who is he talking about? I think Yokohama would know that we have nothing to do with that. Again, in the first place, yes, I think that makes sense. But we'd have to do something. It's important. I get your argument, Pac-Man. Yes, we're not. We don't have anything to do with it. But the truth is, as a club, as an entity, and Chelsea, as you know, is one of the most outspoken clubs against discrimination of all sorts, against marginalization of all sorts. So I think if Dembele comes to Chelsea, the club will be obliged to do something that shows, okay, we were well aware of what he did, but I think he's a changed man now, and Dembele himself will have to put out a statement to support that. I think Yokohama knows. Again, but the club would do something about it. I don't think it would be a problem. Again, thinking about exactly embarrassing comment that does it matter, Chinese or Japanese? It doesn't matter. Again, discrimination is discrimination. It makes sense. Again, it says respect to all this, my bros channel. That statement has to be correct. Coachila, what statement? Correct me. Let me know what you're saying. Had to be corrected. He said, "How are you?" And how say, "Get Chama, I'm fine." And again, everything is going fine, and I hope you're doing well. He say hello to Just Viola. If the manager wants him, we will support him. He apologized, so we'll move on. Again, if it comes to Chelsea, you have to do more than just his previous apologies. That's the truth. All good here. And okay, again, just say hello to each other. Nice to see. Again, I think I need to catch up as quickly as possible. Lots and lots of comments. Ojo, nice to see you again. Was to, again, top assist in La Liga last season. That's good to see. And he understands how Thomas Tuchel wants the crosses on the carpet every time. I think that's good to know. Again, between Pulisic and Dembele, both injury prone, but I would take Dembele because he's 100% times better. Wait, again, that's hilarious. I will give the benefit of doubt, as I know it's very early morning in West Coast. Nevertheless, always a great channel and panel, except him. Sorry, bro. Big up again. Everybody has we all have the right to express ourselves the way we want. Again, and then if you say something that come across as insulting to anybody, you deal with the consequences. That's the truth. We live in a free world. In relation to Dembele, it reminds me of a song Kwaku, the Traveler, where he says, "Yep, I know the song," and it's one of my favorite songs right now. And Chelsea did not defend it on the beat. Yep, exactly. Chelsea dealt with it differently. Obedience, Omu Karo. Hi, what did Dembele do? Again, it's something you have to go look at yourself. Let's go all out for Tchouaméni. The likes of Liverpool, City have, again, let me ask this question to you, Nick, quickly. I think I know we will be distracted a lot, but we still have time to catch up with the topics we have. What I want to ask you, Real Madrid, Nick, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, what I want to ask you is this. Real Madrid, they're trying to pay 55 million or so for Dembele, and I don't think Monaco will take that. So which means nothing is done, which means we have a chance to get him, but probably we'd have to pay more money. What do you think? Did we lose Nick? Okay, Nick, when you come back, you can comment. Phantom, let me come to you, given this comment on the screen.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to have to pay more. But Tuchel is... Yeah, so can you hear me still?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, Nick.
Can you hear me? I don't know what's going on.
Yes, Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, so, we're going to have to pay a little bit more. But I think we will, because Tuchel wants a player. And I think we will go for him.
You said Tuchel wants Tchouaméni.
Are you talking about Tchouaméni or Dembele?
Yeah, I'm talking about Tchouaméni. I had a comment up the screen says, "Let's go all out for Tchouaméni."
Tchouaméni's
the likes of Liverpool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tchouaméni, of course, another player Tuchel wants, but it depends on it's going to be a war for him. Everyone wants him. It's going to be a bidding war. Depends how much Boehly wants to, put in for Tchouaméni. But if we don't get Tchouaméni, we have to get someone in the midfield. And who else can we get? Declan Rice is going to be, let's talk about Declan Rice, but he's going to be...
Yeah, we'll talk about them. We haven't gotten to that part yet. But you think we can get Tchouaméni still?
I think we can. If Boehly really wants to, and Tuchel, I think why not? We can outbid them if we want to. If we really want him, I think we should go for him. He's going to be so vital when Kanté can't play every single game. There's no other better player in the midfield than Tchouaméni, and especially if Jorginho does decide to go, with only still 50-50 with him. We do definitely need him, and we have Gallagher and Gilmour to come in. Hopefully, Gilmour stays with Chelsea. I hope. Let's see what happens, but we should go out and get Tchouaméni. Yes.
Let me come to you, Phantom. What do you think? Do you think we should go all out for Tchouaméni? Because I understand Pacman is saying he's off to Real Madrid for 100 million. I don't think that will happen because I argued this with somebody. They already have Camavinga. That person argued that Camavinga is more of a box player. But the truth is he can fulfill that role quite comfortably. And if Tchouaméni thinks, I don't think Real Madrid will be the best option for him now. But again, it's up to him. Phantom, do you think really we should go all out for him?
No, if Tchouaméni's price is going to be 100 million, we might as well just go get the other 100 million guy, Declan Rice, for the same price.
You prefer Declan Rice over Tchouaméni?
At the same price? Yes, of course, because he's Premier League proven. And he does. And he has a chemistry with Mount.
Let him finish, Nick. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The only reason why I ever wanted Tchouaméni over Rice was because of the price difference. But if you're talking about exactly the same price, yeah, I'd take Rice over Tchouaméni because he's Premier League proven and he has a chemistry with Mount.
I'm gonna go to Stephen. I think you made a good comment there. I think somebody will argue with that, but for 100 million, I wouldn't go for Declan Rice. We'll talk about the three. That is all the DMs that we should be looking at. What about Victor Osimhen and Sadio Mane? Mane will probably not come on the cheap in terms of his salary. Osimhen, Napoli paid 80 million plus for him. I don't think Chelsea will be spending such an amount on a striker. But I'm going to go to Steve. Tell us, Steve, do you think there's still a chance we can sign Tchouaméni?
I would say yes, but I heard Fabrizio Romano said Real Madrid are confident of signing him. But I think Jules Koundé could have a say in it because he's his best friend and they've got the same agent. So you never know. So it could happen.
Plus,
his dad is a Chelsea fan as well.
His dad is a Chelsea fan. That's something we haven't heard in public. And that's why this is one of the best channels you can be on when you're listening to transfers like this. And again, I know you don't know who Stephen is, but I know him very well. He's an insider for us. He gets us some, facts. Again, that will make a whole difference. Plus, did you hear the rumor that Real Madrid are trying to pay just 55 for him? And again, I don't think Monaco will take that.
No, they will reject that.
So we still have a huge chance to go in and say we can pay you this amount of money.
And I heard we entered the race for him as well.
Okay. Nick, what do you think? Do you think we should still go in for him? Have I asked you that question, really?
Yeah, of course I do. But Phantom thinks it's going to be 100 million. It won't be 100 million. We can get him for less. We just have to see, what the others bid, and we have to be very good at
I have a question for you, Nick. Which one are you talking about less than 100 million? Tchouaméni, or you think you can get Rice for less than 100 million?
Even Rice, it probably won't be 100 million. But
the West Ham said that they are the 100 million is the price. That's the floor price for Rice for this season. That's non-negotiable.
Yeah, here's the thing. Nick doesn't actually like Declan Rice. I don't think he will be advocate for us going for Declan Rice. So don't worry too much about that. Yeah. So Nick, go ahead with what you were saying about Tchouaméni.
Yeah, Tchouaméni is the right choice. He has more technical ability than Rice. That's the player we need. I know Declan Rice is a good player. He's a Premiership proven. That doesn't mean a thing. That doesn't mean a thing because, the great players always, where did they come from? Where did Drogba come from? Where did Hasselbank even? So many players. They didn't play in the Premiership before, but they, it doesn't mean a thing. So yeah, I prefer Tchouaméni. I always said that. He's more. I don't know how can I say, more technical and skillful than Declan Rice. Yeah,
I think it's more agile. Again, that's another argument. Some would argue Declan Rice is the better option because he has Premier League experience. But then again, the question you have to ask yourself, is Chelsea the best place for Declan Rice to go? I would say no. Again, this is what I have always argued. He'd rather go to Manchester United where they don't have a defined DM. So I think he's get the chance to be the starting DM for them. And some people say, well, he wants to come back to Chelsea. Did he tell you that? No, but exactly.
No, that's the fans talk. All they think is Declan Rice is Mason Mount's friend and he should be at Chelsea. And look, United will go and pay the silly money like they always do for even Declan Rice. They could go and pay 100 million. It won't bother them. And look, that's how they do business. United, they always do that. Like they did with McGuire, what happened. So we don't need Declan Rice at Chelsea because he's a Mason friend. No, It's not right.
And here's the thing again: is Declan Rice a bad player? No, he's a fine player, and is again in terms of you get a quality leader. That's a leader in the mold. You could argue John Terry, but then again, is Justin the best place for him right now? I'd say no, because he's an England international, and if it comes right now, believe me, I don't think he'll be starting. That is enough games as he would want to. Can you tell me what do you think about that, Stephen? Do you think Chelsea is will be the best option for Declan Rice?
I think he wants to come to Chelsea, and we have to remember his mum and dad are season ticket holders.
Really?
So, yeah, they are season ticket holders, and it's his word club, so I think he wants to play for Chelsea.
But do you really think Chelsea is the best? Will be the best place for him, the club to join at this point?
Yeah, but I don't know, but if we put money in, if Man United put money in, or Man City, he would take us over them. That's what I've been told as well.
All right, let me try and catch up with the chat, and I'll come back to the panel. T. Olsen says, again, I want to thank you all for 100 likes. And we have 196 people watching. At one time, it was 200 plus. If you haven't, take a second to please like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't, to help the channel grow. Again, it doesn't cost you anything. Liking the video is free. And if you're happy that we have a new owner, do like the video. And if you want to say thank you to Roman Abramovich, do like the video and also subscribe to the channel. T also says Hakimi is linked because Tuchel likes him, and he could be part of a deal for Lukaku to PSG, but it won't happen. You just rounded it off. I was going to say, I was going to let you know that wouldn't happen. Your opinion on Lukaku pushing for a move to Inter and transfer? I think to me, you would say, I'd say it's a good thing. If it happens, I'd take it up, but it remains to be seen whether that really happens. Again, it says, True Blue, again, they're having a conversation there. Let me see if there's anything to address here. Suleiman says, good morning. How nice to see you here, brother. We're linked with any player that has played under Tuchel. Again, would you blame anybody? No. Chelsea done Hakimi. Again, I don't think we want him. It's all rumor, like Steven said. John Terry, again, I wouldn't accuse anybody that something he's been cleared of. Again, but it's your opinion. And I'm not going to go into that. That's not what we're here to talk about. Bro, have been eating since he came in. Good vibes. He's talking about you, Phantom. So thank you. I think having Lewandowski for a season 2 can help us temporarily. But the way we play, his age, he was the best player in the world 2020 and 2021. I don't think he's dropped off again. It remains to be seen what happens. Just swap Romelu Lukaku and Lautaro. That's never going to happen. They're seeking to bring Lukaku back, and you want to take away the only good player they have there. I don't see that happening either. It's a difficult ask, and I don't think they would do it. And the Queen of the House, so who are we getting to replace Lukaku once he leaves? Just bring back Broya. Again, that's my opinion. Do I think that's what's going to happen? I don't think so. I don't know, because I'm not Thomas Tuchel, and I'm not part of the coaching staff or the board. But I'd say even if Lukaku leaves, don't go for a defined striker, because he's never going to use them. He's proven that on occasions. Again, I've read that before. Says anything, Chelsea must move quickly. Yeah, we must. Did I go back, actually? I don't think I went back. I was cleared. Yeah, he was cleared. That's why I wouldn't even talk about it. I'm whether if he did it or not, as long as he was cleared in the court of law, I wouldn't talk about it. Problem is, Real Madrid don't really need a Tchouaméni. I've argued that before. At the moment, yeah, good point there, but Chelsea need him desperately. So he has more chance to play at Chelsea than at Real Madrid. So we have to pay the money for him. Look at Liverpool, paid £75 million for Virgil van Dijk. And again, I think Tchouaméni is even younger, so he will serve us for a long time. Broya is not yet ready. When are you going to consider him ready? He comes back. We have other players in the team that are ready that can help him, meet up quickly, if you want to see it that way. I really think we will only get 4 players. There's a chance that happens. I'm going to try and catch up, and if I miss your comment, it wasn't intentional. Do you guys really believe that Rice is the most expensive player in the world? No, he's not, but at least for a DM and at that price and who he is, I don't think we should be spending that much. Again, you need to inbox me via Twitter so you get on the panel. I may let you in, but let's see what happens. We won't be spending 80 million on another striker. I don't think we will. That's why I said we're not gonna go for what's his name, Osimhen. Napoli paid 80 plus for him, and knowing the Napoli owner, he would want a gain if he wants to sell him. So you'd be looking at 100 plus, and he's been prolific for them. So he's not gonna come on the cheap. Would you take Sadio Mane? We would if he would come to us and if he take a salary cut, because I think the club at Chelsea are concerned about the salary structure because it's everywhere now. Some players are earning twice as much as some others who even do more work than they do. Again, Declan Rice is 120 million. That's a lot of money. Question is, Rice the best DM in England? It's not even second best, so I would pay again. Good argument. That's how I see it. Some people will argue otherwise. Some people, what they like the most is his leadership skills. Chemistry with Mount is equal to 30 million. Place in the Premier League, 25 million. English passport, yeah, English passport indeed. Football ability, 10 million. Tutu, 100 million. Pacman, you are an absolute legend. Thank you very much for that. I do love that. West Ham isn't going to sell Rice. I don't think they will. And I think they will force him probably to run down his contract until he leaves on a free. Tchouaméni, we can get him for 75 to 80 million. Again, I don't think. Let's see what happens. If we pay that much money for him, I'd take it. Yep, I'll come back to the panel. Let's talk about the fact that Marcos Alonso, I think, will be leaving. Again, whether we like it or not, I think I don't see him staying. And given the fact that we're talking about bringing back, what's his name, the Italian international, born Brazilian, but Italian international,
Emerson.
Yeah, Emerson.
The
problem I don't get is with Emerson is if Tuchel wanted to keep him, I don't get why we loaned him out. I just don't get that one.
Okay, so a lot of Chelsea fans don't understand what West Ham is saying. They'll go like, "Oh no, West Ham won't demand 100 million." Okay, pretend, let's say West Ham or Arsenal or some other team said, "Hey, we want Mason Mount. How much are you going to give us? How much is Mason Mount for?" Chelsea's answer would be 100 million pounds, because we don't want to sell Mason Mount. But if you really, really want Mason Mount, then his price is 100 million. West Ham wants to keep Rice, at least for now. So they don't want to sell him. They don't want to sell him this summer, but they're saying, but if you really, really want him, then offer us.
This is how much you want.
Right, exactly. Because at a certain price, whether it's 100, 120 million, 150 million, 200 million pounds, we would let Mason Mount go, right? Even to Arsenal or even to Tottenham or whatever, even to a direct competitor, we would let Mason Mount go at a certain price, whether it's 100 million, 200 million, 300 million. There is a price that we would let Mason Mount go. And that's what West Ham is trying to tell you. We want to keep Rice on our team. However, if you want to offer us obscene money, we will let him go at an obscene price. But other than that, stop bugging us. That's what West Ham has been saying.
And actually, I think they know Chelsea wouldn't be willing to pay such an amount, and especially when we have just 200 million pounds to spend in a single window. We can't pay 110. Even we can't pay 70, 80 for Rice alone. That would be stupid, given that we have to replace around 3-4 defenders. Again, that's, by the way, Stephen, you were saying something before I go to Nick and LSC, who's on the panel.
What about Emerson or about Rice?
Yeah, we're talking about Alonso. Well, he's most likely to leave.
I always hear of Alonso. He was meant to leave for the last 3 years and he never goes. So I'm not taking this one serious yet. But I heard he agreed personal terms and Chelsea won't stand in the way. I just hope we don't ask for too much money, or that could stop it. I would take 5 to 10 mil, but I think Chelsea want 20 mil, something like that.
Again, I'm going to highlight this. We'll talk about it later. Nick, let me know what you think about Alonso leaving. I think that makes us getting, what's his name, the Brighton player. No, not even the Brighton player. Cucurella. That makes us get him Cucurella a priority because he's a fine player, and I've learned that he's able also to fulfill the left centre back role. So I think we should actually consider Cucurella seriously if Alonso eventually leaves. But go ahead, your thoughts on Alonso leaving? Because
I know it's like Steve said. We try so many times to get rid of him, but he doesn't go. Let's hope this time that we ain't going to ask a lot of money, so he can go and we can get Cucurella. Yeah, we need to. It's time for Alonso to go. He's been here a long time now. I don't know. Is it how many years? 5, 6, something like that. And he's done. He's done well. According considering some fans were calling him out all the time. Another one being hated and called names. He done well with the timing. He scored some great goals in important games. People forget too easy. Great goals he scored for Chelsea Football Club, and even recently he was scoring. He was scoring the goals. Good. If he goes, good luck to him. It's been a great servant for Chelsea. Not like some people think. No. And Cucurella be the right choice. I hope we do get him. He's the right player to get. Emerson is not coming to Chelsea. Tuchel doesn't fancy him anyway. And Emerson, I think, is going somewhere else, or he's staying there. That's what I heard. So let's forget Emerson. We need something better. We're going to challenge. We need a place like Cucurella. Let's hope Alonso gets the right deal. He's ready to go now. So don't raise the price too high. That's what this But now with Boehly there, Marina can't do what she wants. So it'd be easier in terms of prices because it's not what Marina wants anymore.
Yeah,
Boehly's be there watching.
Again, I think we'll probably implement a better structure at Chelsea, and that will be very helpful. Probably get a DOF too. But I'll come to LSE in a bit. I want to ask Steve this question quickly, but it's important to read this delicious comment on the screen that says, just because fans want somebody doesn't mean that Thomas Tuchel wants them. I want to say thank you again for 112 likes. And if you haven't, please just come in and just like the video to help us reach more people. And we've gained almost 30 subscribers today. And I know we can do more. If you haven't, please like the video to help us reach more people. The more people we have here, the more fun the show will become. And believe me, you will enjoy the Blue Morning Show. And if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel. Steve, your thoughts on I want to get. I know you have an inside connection. Do you think we're really going for Cucurella, and are we going to be able to get him?
I was told that he wants to go to Manchester City, and he did an interview as well about it. If Man City come in for him, he's going to Man City, and I'm hearing that Pep wants him. He's a Man City target for this summer, so I don't think he will come to Chelsea. That's why I think we're keeping Emerson as a backup.
That was why you talked about Emerson straight. That's again. I'd really want us to get Cucurella, but again,
and I don't think Chelsea will spend 50 million on a backup left back.
And actually, I think we're better because usually we don't use the word backup here because we want people that can compete, and possibly start over the person we have before we sign them. But I get your point. LSG coming to you. The fact that Alonso will most likely believe in us, and we've heard from Steve that we may not be able to sign Cucurella because he could be going to Manchester City. What left back or left wing back player should we be looking at?
I think I've made suggestion here before on who we can get. If the new owners are really, really serious of getting A-list, why not go for Alphonso Davies? Yeah, from Bayern Munich. Why not go for him? His contract expires in 2025. All right. So Show us what you got. Go get him. You know, I don't think there's any player faster than him in Europe. All right, playing in that position. So it is what it is. I suggested Theo Hernandez, right?
Mm-hmm.
So go for him.
Yeah,
Then
the
it's
issue is that given the budget we have, those guys will probably be on the high side because Theo renewed his contract at AC Milan.
yes,
So
he did.
that's going to make him very expensive.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about, if you say you want A-list players, right? If you say you want A-list players, then these are A-list players. All right, these are the players that can actually fit the system we are playing. You know, the Marcos Alonso transfer move to Barcelona. I don't know how they are going to do it because right now they can't register players. All right, they want Lewandowski, or Lewandowski want Barcelona. They can't register him. Aspilicueta, they can't register him. Christensen, they can't register him. Now Marcos Alonso, you know. So this transfer window is just getting complicated day in, day out. You know, so we have to look for a way. If Barcelona cannot get Alonso because of something to do with their income and their financial structure, I don't know. I think maybe the Spanish government can come in and help them out, you know, because they've been doing that for ages. But if they cannot sign up a player like Alonso and Christensen, we have a bigger problem, you know. Then we have to go all out for Lewandowski then, all right, if they cannot sign him because that's where he wants to go, you know. So let's not forget we are still the current world champions, you know, until sometime next year, right? We'll remain champions. So it is what it is. I'm not going to mourn about Alonso leaving and all of that, but I don't just want Emerson in there to be the competitor for Ben Chilwell. I think the fallacy here, I think we are overestimating the performances of Ben Chilwell. You know, we are overestimating it, and you know, in our subconscious, we don't even want any player that we are bringing in is almost like, oh, Chilwell is number one. It doesn't have to be that way. You know, we have to bring in a player that will bench Chilwell. You know, so Chilwell can raise his game. You know, talking about Emerson already know his position at the club. He's just going to be docile. You know, and you know,
that is if Chilwell comes back the same or better.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So, and we are not sure if Chilwell is going to come back the same. You know, so it's a huge risk. You know, whoever is willing to get Alonso, I don't care if it's 5 million, 7 million, whatever it is, get rid of him. All right. I appreciate the goals, the important goals he scored for us. All right. But we don't want players with attitude problems at Chelsea because he's demonstrated it. And Tuchel only played him because he had no choice in these last few games. Remember, you know, it was very disrespectful to Tuchel, and Tuchel had no choice because if he didn't play him, who was he going to play? You know, even though we had Kennedy there, but we all know the standard. So I don't want Emerson back. I want Emerson to be sold permanently. I want Cucurella. I know Man City are, you know, like I've said in previous stream, Man City are all over him, and he prefers to go there. You know, so now we have to work harder to try to get him. We have to convince him that you know, we can win the league next season. You know, because those are the, you know, that would be the motivation for him to go there. It's because he knows he had a good chance of winning. You know, so we have to convince him that we have the capability and the capacity to win the league. You know, so if you join us, this is going to be your role. You know, this is how we are going to play. And, you know, this will be the incentives for you if you do this and do this and do this. So, yeah, we have to be calm about the situation. I know it's a bit dicey, but I want these guys out of my club.
Yeah. Again, I'll catch up. The question whether Chelsea will sign Dembele, I think he may come to the club. And I think Nick, I think you've talked about Nick Blue. You've talked about Alonso leaving, right? And Cucurella being the obvious choice, but we're not sure we're gonna be able to sign him. Nick, you've talked about that, right?
Yeah. I
Okay.
prefer Cucurella. That's if we can get him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like Stephen, who's one of the transfer gurus on the panel, says he doesn't see that happening again.
Yeah, I wouldn't rule it out completely, though. Not completely yet.
Mm-hmm. I've highlighted this comment here. I think we'll be switching to try and, to simulate the rebuild of the midfield because we've talked enough about the updates in the transfer. If I missed anything, does anybody want to talk about anything I'm missing? Okay. I say, just Viola, the queen of Chelsea perspective, says, okay, hypothetical question. Let's say if we don't get Tchouaméni or Rice, then who do we get? I think this naturally helps us. I'll come back to it. Switch to the next topic.
The Brighton midfielder could be coming.
What's his name? Who?
But I forget his name. It'll probably come back to me in a minute. His contract's running out as well.
Pogba.
Okay, when you remember his name, I'll talk about him. Oh, you remember his name? Phantom who?
I'm saying if we don't get Tchouaméni or Rice, then we have to think about Pogba.
Again, we have...
it's in the chat right now. That's the name.
Okay, you sent it. Okay, we have about 100. We have 150, 185 people watching. So the likes is just 180. And a comment if you're here and you haven't liked the video, please just take a second and like the video. It doesn't cost anything. It's easy. Please go ahead and like it to get more people to join us, to make the competition even more funny. Again, even more fun, so to speak. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Again, I'd appreciate that. The more you like the video, it helps the channel grow. The more you subscribe, and then the sooner we get 3K subscribers. And I want to say hello to my brother and friend, Lionel Jewel. I did send you the link. Let me know if I haven't, in case you have time to join the panel. And please, if you haven't, go check out Lionel Jewel's YouTube channel and be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Alfonso wouldn't come. Bayern wouldn't sell him. He's their long-term project. He displaced Alaba to center back. Another good comment there. An important thing, Mikhail says silly season has become. It has indeed. So we'll be hearing a lot of nonsense. Some of them, there may be some truth to them, but we never come to fruition. Max Power playing where? That's a genuine question. Okay, again, let me see. Just catch up with everything. Who do Chelsea fans on board love shopping in hospitals for? Why, so to speak? Again, good one there. And I love it. Buy someone fit and strong. Again, if you don't have money, you always go for the cheap stuff. Chile and Reese must have competition. That's important. Competition is important, not backups. So lots of chats are saying to Rice, Tchouaméni going to Madrid. Then who would you? That's why we're transitioning into. And again, I'm going to skip everything now and catch up with the chat. And then let's go into rebuilding the midfield section of our team. And assuming now, Nick, let me start with Showtime, if you don't mind, because he just joined us and he hasn't spoken. Is that okay? Thank you very much. Ray Allen says that's true. We compare Bissouma with Cover. Says, okay, just tell him to leave me alone. I think they're fighting there. But again, whatever you say, express yourself, but be respectful to each other. Now, the question I want to ask you now, Showtime, there's a chance we may not be able to sign Tchouaméni, which we've heard is Thomas Tuchel preferred option. There's a chance there's a chance also his preferred option is Declan Rice, like some people are saying. But the question I want to ask you, if we're not able to sign Tchouaméni, the options we have in the Premier League includes. Okay, you know what? I think let's just start by the fact that there's a chance N'Golo Kante leaves. Yeah, that's important to talk about, and that's why he is on the thumbnail in the first place. Before we talk about other DMs to look at, again, I want to ask a transfer insider here. before I come to you, Showtime. Steve, is that true?
He has to go back to the police station on the 6th of June to see if he's charged or not charged. And if he's not
N'Golo
charged...
Kante.
Oh, Kante. I thought he was on about the Brighton midfielder.
No. We're talking about N'Golo Kante.
Yeah.
Do you think he's leaving?
Yeah, he could be sold, and Man United could sign him. I'm not going to lie. Man United, he could go to Man United.
Okay, so Showtime, the question is now, there's a chance we lose N'Golo Kante, and if that happens, and even if he's still here with us, if we miss out on Tchouaméni, we have Declan Rice, we have Bissouma, who he's talked about, he's going to go to the police station to see if he's charged or not. And then we, on our own, we added Ndidi to the list. I know some people have complained about Ndidi's ability on the ball, and not with them. He's not the best in terms of his ability on the ball, and his passing ability isn't the greatest either. But one thing he says, he's a destroyer, and he will, he will win you balls. So give me, out of which of them do you think will be the best option, Rice, Bissouma, or Ndidi?
First and foremost, good morning, and thank you for having me on. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, very well. Good morning to you.
Thank you. Big ups to Nick Bloom, my OG. I like to see you always on the streams. But whoever thinks that N'Golo Kante is leaving this club is out of their mind. N'Golo Kante is going to be next to Abramovich with a statue next to Abramovich outside of Stamford Bridge for all he has done. You can't let N'Golo Kante go because he's the engine. The engine just needs some fine tuning, and then he'll be back to freshness again. You cannot let N'Golo Kante go and you keep Jorginho on your roster. Jorginho is the problem. N'Golo Kante stays.
All right, but even at that, I think my sound is coming across. So even at that, now even if N'Golo Kante stays, there's a likelihood that we'll still need to bring in someone else because he cannot play all the games. And I want to quickly read this with regards to what Steve said. Liam says Bissouma, it's supposed to be Bissouma's friend, not Bissouma himself. Bissouma is just a witness. I hope that clears. So we're not going to be afraid whether he'll be charged or not. But again, thank you for bringing that up, Stephen. So short time. Forget about N'Golo Kante staying or not. We still need a DM a defined DM because N'Golo Kante isn't a defined DM for us. He's a hybrid. He's more a box-to-box player, mixed midfielder. So your choice of those three we mentioned, Rice, that is again, if we miss out on Tchouaméni, we have Rice, we have Bissouma, and we have Ndidi. We added Ndidi to the list just to make some people happy. Which of them do you think will be the best option for the club?
First and foremost, I'm not spending $150 million million pounds, on freaking Declan Rice. It's not worth it. Declan Rice has reached his full potential. I don't see him getting any better. He's just like Mason Mount. They're produced so much so young that their ceiling is already peaked. There's only a small chance of them getting any better, and that's honestly speaking. So I'm not going with Declan Rice. Ndidi, although he's my Nigerian brother, I will not bring Ndidi to this club. I like Bissouma. I like him because he's more of a box-to-box DM, and he's more fit to our style of play, and he's more energetic. I'm not a fan of because remember, if we keep the liability in our midfield, we have to pair him the liability as in Jorginho. We will have to pair him with the Bissouma. So Bissouma seems like a workhorse, and he can bring in that effort that we need, like a Kova and Kante. If you notice, the injuries come when we pair our midfields next to that liability, that peace-loving Italian boy, Jorginho. So we will have to find a way to make sure that whoever we bring in is just more so able and capable of doing 2 times the work because the liability is next to them. Yeah, you have to pay. You're paying them with a liability, so it causes more, and your engine is gonna run more when you have a liability next to you. And first and foremost, I'm not a fan of Todd Boehly. I won't be a fan of Todd Boehly unless we see some signings. all this speculation of who's signed, who he's signing, who he getting, who's being sold, who's being brought in, is all a bunch of baloney. I want to see him put his money where his mouth is. You have the 200 million that you said you're going to give Tuchel. Sign some players by now. You got we're supposed to be not in speculation. No more speculation. We've been speculating since this club was going for sale. It's been sold. It's been bought. It's been all new owners come in, and now we all still speculating again. Oh, we're gonna get this player, or we're gonna get this. We're gonna sell this. Bunch of baloney. Todd Boehly, put your money where your mouth is. Don't be one of these foolish Americans and get the sale going.
I wouldn't. Here's the thing. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't start blaming Boehly at this point. We just you know, the process just rounded off. There's no need to start blaming him right now until maybe after the transfer market. If he doesn't do well, then you can start blaming him. But right now, I don't think it'd be right to blame him. So your choice would be Bissouma and not Rice, not Ndidi. I totally understand. Again, my choice will also be Bissouma. Some, like Declan argued on the panel here, that I think I forgot, I don't want to misquote him, but I think he prefers Rice. But it's arguing that Bissouma is more.
Sorry. Can I jump in with a very quick comment to your other guest?
Yeah, go ahead.
Todd Boehly took a last place Dodgers in the entire Major League Baseball. They were down like at the very bottom of the 30th team or something like that, and brought them up to first place within 5 years. And right now they are in first place. And 2 years ago they won a World Series. So and last year they almost got to the World Series. So I mean the Dodgers are a powerhouse team. I don't have any doubt that Todd Boehly can do it.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing. Baseball and football is two different sports, my dear brother. And you saying that he brought a team from last place in the MLB to first place and win the World Series.
Again, let's establish. Here's the thing. Let's establish the truth. You're talking about baseball, right? We're talking about football here, or soccer, if you prefer. The truth is, I don't think it would be right to. Showtime, you're my brother, and I love you. And you get my argument. I don't think it would be right to blame him for anything right now, or to just trust him until the transfer window is over. And then even before you blame anybody, you have to look at circumstances. But I think it will still be good. But that's, by the way, I get it, and I get your preferred option will be.
It's no look, Coach. It's no blame here. I'm not blaming him. I'm just tired of speculation. I said I'm not a fan of him until he brings in signings.
And that's a good way to put it too. Yes.
Until the end of the summer transfer window, I will refrain from judging this man until to the end of the summer window, because all the speculation about players coming in and out is just a bunch of baloney talk. It's no official nothing. We have no movement. This is the same Chelsea that we've been seeing for years that we as fans claim to be tired of. And we're going back to our old ways, basically.
I hope you do remember that given the restrictions we were under before, we were not allowed to put pen to paper with clubs or players until after the sale of the club. And yet we were talking with Kunde, we were talking to Dembele, probably other players that we don't know, because Chelsea, they like to do their business under the radar. So, but that's, by the way, I'm going to come to you, and Alicia, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm going to come to you, and I know we still have Phantom, Nick. I hope I don't miss anybody. LSC, now, if we miss out on a Tchouaméni, but there's still a possibility, given that Real Madrid wants to pay 55, and he's worth more than that. Probably they're trying to pay that amount because he's made his intentions to join Real Madrid clear, because that usually reduces the price, you know. So the question is, if we miss out on him, out of Ndidi, and somebody mentioned, oh my gosh, somebody in the chat, I think it was Pacman, that mentioned some player also for that position. I'm not sure. Again, we have Ndidi, we have Rice, and we have Bissouma. Which of them will be your preferred choice, and why?
Well, the options you gave me there, I don't think I have any preferred option out of the
You can
two.
add to the list and let us know why.
Yes, yes, I will add Paradise to the list from PSG. I'll add him to the list full time. All right. I will have Brozovic to that list. All right. I'll add him to the list. Uh, I will even go for. I don't know if Newcastle will let go of Bruno Gomes, but they are not going to let go of him. They've got money.
They're a rich club now.
Yes, yes, they won't let him go. Before I go for Rice, then what's his name? The Juventus midfielder, Dennis Zakaria. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
No matter what people will say about him, I would prefer him to this guy here, to this Rice.
He just joined Juventus.
I know. But he's a good player from I think it was from Borussia Mönchengladbach or whatever they call that club.
Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, so Rice, I understand the history, the connection, and all of that. I think it's high time we we let go of sentiments, because how do you expect you have 200 million pounds as a transfer budget, and you are going to blow about 70% or 80% of that fund, on just one player? Does
Even
that make
50.
sense? Yeah, you know what I mean. So I don't see the point. It's a bit. He's not a flexible player. He's a bit rigid. We've analyzed his his skill set here on this stream before. So as for Ndidi, he's a very good player. Almost like in a Kante mode. Whether Leicester will let him go and all of that, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind, just give him a little bit of, if we don't have any option. We have Ruben Neves from, I think he plays for Wolves.
Yeah,
right?
that was the name. That was the name somebody mentioned here. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, we have Ruben Neves. I think Barcelona want him. His contract, expired next season. So there are a lot of options, all right, that we can go for, especially that Paradise from PSG, because he's not having a good time over there. He wants to leave.
Here's my argument when you talk about Paradise, the Argentine international, right? I think we've discussed that the last time you were on the panel here. Paradise, is he good? He's good. But one thing that he can do very well is orchestrate great long balls.
Mm-hmm.
And he has good control too, and he can beat the press. But then again, I think you'd say he's a more physical Jorginho. He's not the quickest. Am I right?
I won't say he's not the quickest.
He's not the quickest. I think in terms of pace, I think you'd say he's actually the same thing. With Jorginho actually.
Yeah, but he's a player that likes to sit deep, and and allow Verratti to always trot ahead of him. You understand? So that's just their game plan. If he's at Chelsea, he's going to have a different game plan. So these are.
So you're suggesting Paradise because of his because his discipline on the pitch.
Yes, and also his work with Tuchel before, even though Tuchel wasn't using him much, but at least he understands him.
You just made, here's the thing. LSE, I love you, bro, but you just made a few points I don't think, to me, he's disciplined. We need that. But given that he's played under Tuchel and he didn't use him that much, why should we be going for him?
Yeah, it's because of the tactics. It's because of the system, the formation. Do you understand? I think he will fit this our formation better, than he was at PSG, So a player, just like we have Lukaku, right? Lukaku might even go to a different club in the Premier League, and start balling and start scoring in every game. Does that mean, he was a bad player at Chelsea? So that's what it is. Even the players like Malansada, some people are saying that it's not good enough. I believe it's not good enough at all. He should leave our club, right? But he can go to a different team, and a different manager that will utilize him in a different way, and he start balling. So The reason I want him is because he's having problems, he's having difficulties, and it's going to be cheap as well. So that's for that. There are other options that we can go for. Brozovic is one of them. I need someone that would like to die on the pitch. This Tchouaméni, I know people are hyped up, they're hyping it up, but what I see some, elements or symptoms of Bakayoko. You might not believe it. Bakayoko was good in that Monaco team in Ligue 1, so can never tell.
So,
See, but what's his name? Bakayoko didn't have N'Golo Kante to really study under. Tchouaméni comes in, he has the best midfielder in the world to study under.
I think the case for Bakayoko, he was firing. He was doing well at Monaco. We bought him when he was injured. I don't think he needs to, and it doesn't need anybody to study under. We bought him to come in and start, performing immediately, and he was good on occasions. But that's, by the way, I get your argument. Let's see, were you still saying something?
Yeah. The main thing here is this. We are bringing in someone, to rest Kante, right? We are not bringing in someone that is going to be playing with Kante all the time. We are bringing in someone so we can, get the full potentials of Kante when he gets on the pitch, because we want Kante to be safe. We want Kante to be fit all the time. Kante is not going to be playing, 2 games in a week, all right? So we should reserve Kante to be playing at least 1 important game a week, all right? Or 2 games in 3 weeks, So we bring him out on the big games and stuff like that, so we can get the best out of him, So it might still be more. Say again.
That's meant for Kovacic to be healthy as well. You can't expect. You see, the problem this season was Kovacic wasn't healthy, so we were forcing N'Golo to come in and play matches where it wasn't needed.
So that's why we're bringing in someone, So whoever we're bringing can be playing with Kovacic, all right? So, but we need Kante to be fit, because we now understand that Kante, all right, Tuchel doesn't want him to leave. The club wants him to leave, right? The board, they want him gone. But the manager don't want him to go. So what's the best way forward?
Wait, the club wants N'Golo Kante to go?
Yeah, they want him to go. That's the rumors that has been spreading on the internet, right?
Again, I'm glad you said it. It's all rumor. And if you're talking, please, if the sound of the show is coming out from a speaker in where you are, I think it echoes out, and I don't think it sounds great to those listening to us. But let's see, I get your point. And let's see, maybe
it's not. I don't think the sound is coming from my end. Yeah.
No, I know, and I'm just saying.
Let me just complete my point, all right? So the rumor says they want him gone to Man United, all right? Honestly, that would be the death of me, man. If this guy goes to Man United, all right, if the board allow him to go there, you understand? I don't know how I'm going to feel about it, all right? But Tuchel wants him. You saw all the compliments he made about him. He's our Mbappe. He's our Lewandowski. He's our Mo Salah, right? So you want that player gone, but he's only playing 40% of the games. And even if 40% of games he's playing, all right, he's been, not that effective the way it used to be, all right? So I don't mind having him in the big tournaments and stuff like that. Just have him on the club. He might play more than that 40%, as long as he's fit, if he doesn't have that pressure on him, the pressure for him to play. For example, there was a time when he wasn't even meant to play. All right, but he had to come in, So, and the data analyst, the data analyst at Chelsea, they look at this. They look at the volume of the play. They look at, the momentum. They will also look at, if this player coming now, is he going to have the pace? Is he going to have the leg? Even though the player himself says, you know what, I'm fit. I'm ready to play. All right. That's why sometimes you have circumstances where people start complaining, oh, why is he not playing X, Y, Z players? All right, it's because the data analyst has said, this is how many games these guys have played. This is the volume. This is the minute, the nanoseconds and all of that. So we have to rest him. I just think N'Golo needs good management, and then we bring in a proper DM. That's all.
Yeah, again, you make a good argument. I was showing a statement by True Blue, which says Jorginho will be leaving, which means we can bring in Paradise, because they played the same role. If you ask me, the register role. Although Paradise executes that role a bit differently. If Jorginho leaves, I'd advocate for us bringing in Billy Gilmore, but again, it remains to be seen whether Thomas Tuchel would trust him or not. Ray Allen says, let me try and catch up with the chat, please. So again, it does, and again, I will not be able to catch up with everybody's comment because it is just me. Until I get a studio engineer, it won't be that simple. It says, João Palhinha is another solid option, but our scouts are not doing their job. Again, I hope they see him. If it's that good, yeah, that's reality. Says Ray Allen, you might be right, but the scouts might have been looking at him. Yeah, there's no way to tell whether they're looking at him or not. It's only Boehly's second day in the office, so give the man a break. He's Pac-Man stays practically. If he has a charge against him, I cannot see him coming to us, and surprise Brighton have played him, which means, like somebody mentioned, he's just a witness. He's not the culprit, or he's not the again, how should I phrase it? Because I don't know what happened really. We need to give Todd Boehly a chance, and I think that's the case. I think we misunderstood what Showman was saying, and again, my apologies to him for that. How can Todd Boehly be blamed? He's not blaming him. Again, he said he will not say he trusts him until he sees what he does before he can rate him or something like that. Rice is a good player, but spending 150 million, I think people keep bopping up the price every time they talk about it. Now it's 150. We have to learn from Lukaku's mistake, but again, I get your argument. And if you haven't, I want to say thank you for 133 likes. You guys are absolute legends. So if you haven't liked the video, please do take a second to like it. The more we like the video, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered, and more people will be joining us. And then the stream will be even more fun. And then please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It says Rice is more Premier League proven than Lukaku. Rice is very good. Again, Premier League proven isn't a thing to me because we've had players we bought from rivals that came to us and never didn't do well. Rice is very good but expensive. Again, he's a good player. You cannot argue against that. Okay, getting your coffee. Get it, Leah. Get it. You need to stay awake. Says Rice is kind of similar to Henderson. They are. Yeah. They're not the most technically gifted, but they're good leaders. That's how I see it. The most special about him is his character. Yep. The character on the pitch. My opinion, he also lacks the stability to play the position like we expect. Bissouma would do it. Again, this is just being factual there. Although other people will see it otherwise. It says, Ray Allen, how do you know who they are looking at? Good question. Has it occurred to you that just because you think he's good, it doesn't mean he is? Again, some people will look at him and say he's not good enough. Let's see if Baka fumbles. Casey, Frank Casey is another good one. But we can't wait until they fumble it before we'll go for him. Actually, that's another option we should be talking about. Yes, let's go for Paradis, who is having a bad time. He just had to dig at me, but it's okay. I take it. Let me see. Ibn Bilo says, Yves, I don't know, is it Yves or Yves Bissouma has a bit of Kante, a bit of Akova, a bit of RC. Yeah, he's a mashup of those guys. But hopefully the incident that's been talked about, it's not an issue. Just wanted to say, Hala, I've been busy. I understand, bro, and you know I love you so much, and I appreciate how much you've supported this channel. It's so nice to see you. Smash that like button, says Queen of the channel. Yes, we have 136 likes, but we have 167 people watching, which means we can do better than we've done. And if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the show. So I'm going to go back again to the chat. It says, again, let me see if there's anything to read. Ndidi is not Chelsea quality, in my opinion. I guess you could argue that, and I agree with you. He's not the best on the ball. He's not the most technically gifted. What he is a destroyer, and we win you lots of balls. Again, Says, let's push for 150 likes. Yes, we can get there, says Tobago. Again, I have to say it, but it could be time to let Kante leave. Like Declan argued, from a business perspective, it could be time because he won't play that many games, and you'll be playing. If you extend his contract, you'll be paying him more money. Again, if they say we should sell Lukaku, we should sell Werner too. It's not about saying sell Lukaku. Lukaku looks like he wants to leave, given what's out there. And if he wants to leave, if Inter is the option, it makes the whole thing easier. But we can be owing Inter 70 million plus and be looking to sell Lukaku to another club because Inter could care less how much you're selling him for. They just want their money back. They don't care. The loss is yours. Let's say it's not fair to say they want him to go. No, they don't want him to go. This panelist shaking my head, just okay, good for you. If you want to join, I've told you what to do. We already have Ndidi. His name is Bakayoko. That's hilarious. But again, you're making some good points, but don't say it like we're here to have a conversation. Again, nobody's saying we must buy Ndidi. Again, some people suggested him, so we added him to the list to discuss him, and we can say, yes, it's not Chelsea quality. And again, you're making a good point, but don't say it in a way like you're coming across. It may come across to the panelists as insulting. But rumors is what a YouTube channel lives on. That's the truth. That's what we got to look at and find out, okay, what really makes sense. Kovacic will be only one to stay. I think he should stay. He's good. He's the only player who's able to beat the press when we play against oppositions that press us aggressively. He's able to progress the ball no matter how aggressively you press him. Again, that's one of the reasons why I think he will be staying. Let me try and catch up with the chat. João Palpinho, what a player. Again, who says that? Tobago, okay, if you know him, tell us more about him. I'd like to know. What's this man saying? He sounds confused. Nobody wants Kante to leave. Again, you can't. Again, it's your own opinion. Again, he did tell you that that's the rumor. Again, the rumor also said the club are looking to sell him. That wants to sell him again. You could say that. Again, for the facts of 50% of the chat says Rice, say a lot about our fan base. They want him. Again, that's the way they see it. The other one, the other day, I have a poll that I will show you. More people said Bissouma. Again, it depends on who's on the chat or who sees who the poll reaches. Tobago done. Again, I think I'm okay with this, and I'm going to come back to the panel. Let me go to Nick. Let me go to True Blue, then I'll go to Nick because Nick was out. I'll let Nick round up the question for us. Coming to you, Phantom. Tell me of the list. If we miss out on Tchouaméni, we have Rice, we have Bissouma, and we added Ndidi to the list because it's in the Premier League and somebody suggested him. Your thoughts? Which of the players do you think will
I wanted Ndidi when I saw him beat the crap out of us in that FA Cup game that we lost to Leicester City, and I said, "That's the guy I want. That's the guy I want." And so Ndidi would be fine. I have no problem with us getting Ndidi. That would be super awesome. That would be super, super, super awesome if we got Ndidi.
Do you think Tuchel would want him? Because let's be honest.
He did really well for the Nigerian. What's the Super Eagles? Is that the name of the Nigerian team?
Yeah. Again, the truth is, what do you think about his ability on the ball? To be honest.
The two times I have seen him once was the FA Cup and then the other was that Nigerian game. I don't remember who they played against, but I was really impressed both times. So I give my seal of approval for Ndidi. I do have to go now. Sorry, it's 5:30. I have somewhere to be. So thank you for letting me on the panel. Probably won't be on the panel tomorrow, but maybe sometime down the line.
All right, whenever you have time. So Nick, your turn before I go to showtime. Again, we have three options we're looking at, and Ndidi, Bissouma, and Rice. I know your opinion already about Rice, but which of them would you consider?
Yeah, I have to agree with Phantom. I would go with Ndidi because he can, like you said, he wins the ball back. And he ain't so bad with the ball either. I don't know.
No, he isn't that bad. But again, we're complaining that when you press Jorginho, he loses the ball. That doesn't mean he's bad with them, but we need a player who's capable of beating the press, no matter how people you have on him, and that's not Ndidi. What he can do, he can win you the ball.
That's
he can. He's a destroyer.
Important.
Yeah,
it's
exactly, and he's not
player.
the great. He's not the greatest of passers too.
No, he's Kanti. But that's why I see them similar in a way. Kanti, he's not a great passer. He can't pass it that good. He does sometimes when he goes forward. He tries to score. He scored 1 or 2 goals for us, but I'm not saying he's Kanti. No one can be Kanti, but he's not that bad at Ndidi. I wouldn't mind him. No. Yeah, I'll go for Ndidi.
You go for Ndidi.
Yep.
Okay, I think I've asked everybody on the panel about this some question. Okay, I'm gonna come back to you, Showtime. Do you have any other DM you suggest would go for?
No, I'm gonna say this though. When it comes to Declan Rice, better soup day. You can't eat rice with no soup. Rice with no soup, no sweet. Rice is not a.
Tell them Showtime, because they think Declan Rice is John Terry, but he will never be John Terry. Yeah.
Will you pair Rice and Jorginho together? How does that sound? That soup no sweet. That soup day like just plain rice.
That's poison.
No sweetness.
That's
we're talking over each other, please. Let's talk one by one. Go ahead, Showtime.
Better soup day. You can't pair Rice and Jorginho at all. Bissouma, you can pair with Jorginho. That rice sweet. It's like rice and F4. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Yeah, that rice no sweet. Rice and Jorginho is not a pair that I want to see on the pitch at all.
Let me explain something to you. Showtime, it looks like when I'm talking, I'm getting an echo from your end. Let me explain something to you. You know I love you, brother. I respect you. The truth is, I'd rather pair Rice and Jorginho than Rice and Kante. You get the point now. Rice is more of a DM than a register. See, you need a mix of a register or a box-to-box midfielder with Rice. I don't know how it's to be. You can't. I don't think pairing Rice with Kante will be. Then you practically saying I'm here to defend. If you pairing, although Kante can bump forward, but he's usually tracking back. I don't know how to. I don't think it would be a good pairing. The Rice and Jorginho will actually be a good pairing because Rice can read the game and can defend. Jorginho also can read the game, but cannot defend as much as Rice can. I don't know if you get my point. So it's actually good news, but I get your point in terms of. Go ahead, round off your point about Rice.
If we pair Rice and Jorginho, that means we're just sitting back in the midfield. 2-6. There's no box to box there. Kante under Sarri, Kante has been changed because of Sarri. Sarri came in and moved Kante because he brought in Jorginho. He moved him to a box-to-box midfielder. Kante was under Antonio Conte. Kante was not a box-to-box. He was back. He sat back. It was because of under Antonio Conte.
Yeah, he was more disciplined under Antonio Conte than he was under Sarri. Under Sarri, actually, he played for the forward. But go ahead.
Yeah, he played box. Sarri is the one that, if you remember that press conference, everybody was mad. He said, "Why did you move N'Golo Kante to back from back?" They asked him, "Why is N'Golo Kante playing back to back?" He said, "Because we have Jorginho and Kante is not we're not sitting him down. Kante is not a sit down type of defender. He's not a DM, so he's playing box to box." So Kante has been involved. They evolved him from a regular DM that he can be to a box-to-box. So you just change the whole player personnel. So now everybody see Kante as a box-to-box midfielder. But in reality, I'd rather see Kante sit back in the defense only and bring in somebody like a Bissouma, or you bring in like a Tchouaméni who can get up and down, who can give you that gel, like a Kovacic. Like, I don't see Jorginho, like Rice and Jorginho, I don't see it work. It's just like you send 2 6s in the middle. And who's going to get
there's a point that Liam made here. I think J5 is leaving. I've seen 2 people talk about it. We'll see what happens. But again, if he stays, I don't think, again, a pairing Rice and Kante will be, again, that's me. but I'm not the coach. But that's by the way. Let's talk about again. You were used to making the point. Go ahead, brother. Sorry.
You see that comment there where it says Rice and Connor. I can see that's not a bad pairing right there. Rice and Connor Gallagher. But to spend 150 million on Declan Rice, who just is just plain rice, no stew, no nothing, no sauce. Oh nah, I can't do that to myself.
Let me come back to you, Nick. Let me start with you again. Conor Gallagher, if he comes back, where does he fit in? That's a question we haven't I really answered. Where, if you're in the chat, let us know, where does Conor Gallagher fit in if he comes back? Nick, I'm waiting for you. All right, that's too much of a silence here. LSE, you go ahead. Let us know if Conor Gallagher comes back, where does he fit in? LSE, have I lost you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Where does Conor Gallagher fit in?
Yeah, I would say obviously it's going to be in the midfield, all right? Obviously.
What area? And if anybody's going to make way, who is that? And if he's going to be rotating with anybody, who is that? We need to have a clear understanding here.
I think he can play with Kante. I don't see any problem with him playing with Kante. He can play with Kovacic, all right? Even though he likes to move forward.
He's not a 6.
Kovacic. I know, but he likes to move forward. He likes to move forward just like Kovacic, you know? So he's a workhorse, all right? So I think, are we assuming with the three at the back at the moment? Are we assuming that...
even with the 4 at the back, where does Conor Gallagher fit? And if you're in the chat, let us know, where do you think Gallagher fits if he comes back? Go ahead, LSE, you were saying something.
Yeah, he can play with he can replace Mason Mount, the current position that Mount plays. All right, he can play there as well. All right, so he can play in this team without even affecting what we are doing with our midfield, with our double 6. All right, so whether we are playing Jorginho and Kante, all right, it doesn't displace Gallagher out of this team, okay? Because we can play him up front. We can play him, the position that Mason Mount is playing at the moment, because that's the only player I see he can replace. I don't see him replacing players like Kai, you know. So I will play him up front, or I pair him with Kovacic.
Again, playing him with Kovacic in where we would deploy 2 6s. Is that what you're suggesting?
Absolutely.
Wow. Nick, your thoughts? Nick, are you there now, or are you still gone?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Where does Conor Gallagher fit in Tuchel's system?
Look, Conor Gallagher is going to be a great player for Chelsea. He's not going nowhere. You know, he's above Mason Mount already for me. He can score, he can cross. I've said it a million times. He's a proper midfielder who can score and who can defend. He's an all-round midfielder. That's what he is. You watch him for Palace, he's everywhere. So whoever he plays with, doesn't matter. He can play with anyone. He plays with Kovacic. And Kovacic can, if he goes up like Kovacic likes to press and go forward, Gallagher will sit back in the middle. You know, or Jorginho. But I don't think Jorginho will. I don't know if he's going to still be with us, but he can play with Kante, he can play with Kova. And if we get Tchouaméni, imagine. So, Gallagher is an all-round midfielder. I keep saying that. That's the way he plays. He can score, he can cross, and he can fight. He gets the ball back. So, he's above Mount. he could replace Mason Mount, or
Exactly.
not replace him completely. I mean, he can put Mount on the bench easily for me, but together I can't see them playing together. It won't work.
Yeah.
With Mount, but he's a good player, and Tuchel knows that, so he's got to be involved next year. I'm sure.
Again, it's not simple. This is not simple to sort out here. Now, Pacman says, let me just catch up with the chat. Gallagher doesn't suit Tuchel's system, unfortunately. That makes some sense to a certain
That
measure.
doesn't make sense.
No, it does make sense to a certain measure because listen, Nick, I know I respect you, and it's good when we argue like this because there's something to learn.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I don't know. You and as you just said, Gallagher playing as one of the 2 6s.
Yes, he can play anywhere in that middle.
He can, but will he do well as a number 6? Remember, this is just as the same thing. I know he's quicker. He's probably more, you could say, he presses better than Ruben Loftus-Cheek does. But if you look at the games, now I want to say something.
Doesn't touch Gallagher.
Yeah, I want to say something here. Yeah. I agree with you. What I want to say is this: Ruben Loftus-Cheek, if you remember this past season, whenever he plays as number 6. The way he glides with the ball is good on the eye. The way he passes the ball around is good on the eye. But he doesn't read the game very well.
He's nowhere near as good as Gallagher.
No, I'm not talking about who's better than the other. I'm just using that as an example. Playing him as a number 6, you're creating a problem. Because, for instance, when we did that with Loftus-Cheek, can I finish, Nick? He plays, when he passes the ball, it looks good on the eye. When he dribbles, it looks good on the eye. The way he glides with the ball looks good on the eye, but he doesn't read the game very well, and that exposes our defense. And believe me, if you do the same with Gallagher as one of the 2 6s, we have a problem. That's the point. I don't think number 6 is his best position. Go ahead. What you wanted to say before?
Yeah. I don't understand what you said. You can't suit the Tuchel system. I don't see that.
It's difficult to see. If you say number 8, I'd consider him as a number 8.
Yeah.
Rather than a 6.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just saying he can play a 6, but he can play an 8. There's no problem. But I can see him replacing Mason Mount, like I said.
He's not gonna. That's never gonna happen.
You don't know if he gets.
Let me tell you this, Nick. Instead of Gallagher replacing Mason Mount, I'd see Tuchel telling the club to sell him. You haven't seen how much Tuchel likes Mason Mount.
Yeah, we know
he overplayed him. Even when Mason Mount was mentally tired, he was still playing him.
He wasn't.
And they're not like for like because Gallagher is more of a box-to-box midfielder than Mason Mount is. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what we need. Mason Mount, he hasn't been great this year. I don't know, all right, he had a lot of most assists, whatever, but it wasn't a good season for him. And how did he win best player of the season? I don't know. It's hard to see that best player of the season. Even a 2-year-old can see he's not player of the season. He wasn't.
I know you wanted Thiago Silva to win it, but let me catch it.
I want the right in all these bloody fix.
I understand.
Fixing the system. Mason Mount is all right. He's a good player, but he's not the end of. I know Tuchel likes him because he presses, he runs after everything, but so does Gallagher. And Gallagher has a better cross on him, and he can score. And
that's a good argument. I'm going to catch up with the chat, and I'll come back to the panel to ask Showtime where he thinks Gallagher fits. If you're in the chat, let us know, and it'll be interesting to see what True Blue says about that. That Connor is suited to a 4-3-3 system, which we don't play. Excuse me. Gosh, I'm trying to take a medicine for the cold so I don't lose my voice. I nearly choked. Apologies. True Blue says, Tobago, you're listening too much to media. Do you think Monaco were going to sell him after just 3 months? He signed January 2020 and French League stopped April 2020. Again, you must look at that. Now, again, let me see. True Blue, do you believe Lukaku will go? That may well happen because he wants to be starting games. He wants to be in better shape before the World Cup. Again, he's not really happy at Chelsea. Again, that's how I see it. That may well not be the case. He will play him as a DM. And do you think that's his best position? You let me know, True Blue. I really want to know, again, if you play him as a DM. But we'll see. Manny, if you insult people, most have the right to delete it. Yep. We respect each other here. We'll argue. We have fun. But please, whatever you do, just try not to say in a way that you will come across to anybody as insulting. We're family here. Respect, and then just express yourself, but respect others. Yeah, Mason and Connor will be the Frank Lampard and Stevie G bad pairing. I think both can play together, but I wouldn't play Connor as a number 6. Again, we'll see what happens for sure. Mount and Connor cannot play together. One would be benched. Again, that's your argument. I think they can play together, actually. Well said, Liam Lane. Again, RSC is an 8. Yeah, he's an 8. Where he played we saw his best performance in the senior team on the side. He scored fine goals. And whenever he plays closer to the final third, you can see how intelligent he is. He's a brilliant footballer in terms of passes, in terms of picking up people inside the box. Again, we've seen on occasions where Tuchel intentionally deployed him on the right-hand side when we thought he was going to play the right wing back position. In fact, the role was implemented in an inverted manner. He supported the midfield more, and see how he found Mason Mount in the box. Most of our players will try to go to the flanks, come back, pass it backwards. He's an intelligent player, but he hasn't been played constantly in his best position. Yes, Rice to Chelsea. Again, we'll see. Connor is an 8 and Mount is an 8. Cover is an 8. Cover hasn't really played as an 8 for us, but traditionally you could argue he's an 8. He's been deployed as one of the 2 6s in most cases, and RSC is an 8, and we have been playing our players out of positions. That's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. Pacman knows football. Says, again, Connor, 8 goals, 3 assists, Mason Mount, 10 goals, 11 assists. I'm not saying, again, I'm not comparing them both. Again, there's a difference between the 2 players. We must recognize that. Where will the creativity come from if you play Mount and Connor in a 4-3-3? Good question. If you can answer him that question, please go ahead. Blue morning, everyone. Blue morning to you too, brother. Had to check in even when feeling ill. Big up to the panel, the mods and the chat. Sorry to hear that you're not feeling well, brother. I hope you get better as soon as possible. We will be praying for you. Please, if you do believe in higher power, please do pray for the Added Time podcast to get better. Again, nice to see you there. Says big up, Connor. Big up to you too. Tobago, hope you're doing well. Again, we don't play 4-3-3. That's one thing we must recognize, except if that changes this coming season. But it's difficult. Bissouma clear of those in the argument. Who should we go for? Voted player of the season worldwide fan base via Fifth Stand. Again, we must respect Mason Mount, whether we like it or not. He's a fine player for us. And they say numbers don't lie. My boy Lukaku should go. Again, your boy. I think I actually remember the first time Tobago joined me on the panel, and I critiqued Lukaku. He left the panel and unsubscribed and then later came back. Correct me if I'm wrong. The players that are at Chelsea right now are not Tuchel's players. He didn't buy them. No arguing against that. And he'd be looking to build a team in his image. And that's why I'm saying things may well get worse for Lukaku, because the more Tuchel gets his players, the more he's less likely to play to the strength of Romelu Lukaku. Again, that's the truth. I would play him as a DM, but see Tuchel doing it or sell Connor. I think like I there's a chance that happens. As a DM, I don't know how well he would do that, but you let me know why you said you play him as a DM. We might find Reece move into midfield. I think that would be a waste of his resources, if you ask me. Yes, Aviola, again, that's the conversation. Both Mason and Connor are eights. Yeah, exactly. Imagine them either side of a DM. Can you explain further? Yes, again, says that this is why Tuchel needs the help of a sporting director. You think? I think it all comes down to what he wants. I think the job of the sporting director will be help him get the player he wants. Connor is too similar to Mount. The best position is a hybrid between 10 and 8. Perfect. That is it right there. A hybrid between 10 and 8. They are pressing. He's a pressing machine, but they can track back. He's talking about Connor and Mount. Yep, collect the ball from a DM and go forward. I think they both can do that quite well. And Connor can press the life out of opposition players. Relying on Tuchel's talent ID will cost us a right. We're going, heading into a new season with a bloated squad, indeed, and quite a lot of them have to leave before we'll be able to sign Broya or MG. I think Broya will come back, but like True Blue said before, he may well be concerned given Thomas Tuchel's history of not using out and out number 9. So if it's a smart kid, he'd look at that and say, okay, what are you going to do with me? Maybe he may get a chance. Maybe he has a better chance because he's a more complete player than what we have right now. Did we not play Lampard at AC and Ballack either side of Makalele? I think we did. But will Thomas Tuchel would be willing to do that? I don't know. We'd see that. I said I wouldn't play Connor at the DM. Okay, now I get it. Because I was like, that doesn't sound like you. Thank you, Coach. Nothing serious. Just ate something bad. But I do appreciate the positive thoughts, brother. Love you, brother. And again, you get better. Was what TT wanted. Lukaku was an option. Haaland, okay. Reece had lots of successful weekend in midfield when he was there. Maybe that'll happen, but I think he's done quite well for us from the flanks, and he scored quite a lot of goals. Ryan knows football. He says, Jerry, so it's okay. Again, Broya needs to be integrated. I think that's the case. It's too early to pile the pressure on him as our number 9. He needs to learn. LSG, again, let's talk about now. I think we've talked about Gallagher. Let me ask you this, Nick. Have I asked you where you think he best fits in our team? I think I've asked you that question, but I haven't asked Showtime. Showtime, are you there?
Yeah, I said if he's, he's an all-round midfielder. He can play anywhere. In the middle.
Yeah, that's the truth. And before I go to Showtime, since I've asked Nick the question, if you haven't, please do like the video. Right now we have 147 likes. Let's shoot for 200 likes before the end of the show. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I think we've gained almost 40 subscribers today, and I know we can do better than that. Please keep liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you haven't. And also, I want to share this link. That is another show that we have in a few hours, which is 12 p.m. PST. Please just take a second, go and like this video. Even if you're not going to be there, just take a second to click through the link and then drop a like on the video. I'd really appreciate that if you're in the chat. Thank you very much. So, Showtime, coming to you. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Where are we? You were talking about where he fits in the team. Where do you think he fits in the team? And just let us know, where do you think Gallagher fits? Because there's a chance he comes, but he's going to be part of the preseason.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more so with everybody with he's a hybrid from an 8 to a 10. I think he comes in. The mistake that we made with Mason Mount, he's going to be the refresher to it. I think he comes in and outshines Mason Mount next season. I'm not too highly on Mason Mount. I think he came in at the right time when his father was the manager. So I think that's what made everybody fall in love with him, because they saw him under his father and that made everybody want to be like, say, Mason Mount this, Mason Mount that. But I think he has reached. We've made him. I don't think we've made a mistake, but I think we have played him to his full potential. I don't think Mason Mount is going to get any better. I think the level, the percentage wise, when I see Mason Mount get any better, I think it's nothing more than 10% getting better. I think Conor Gallagher is going to be the predecessor to Mason Mount at this young age. Yes, Mason Mount may be only 23, but the amount of football that he played is as if he's 30 something years old. He's played over 200
It was
matches.
too much.
Yeah, he has played over 200 matches. I think we already saw his full potential, and I don't think he's going to get any better. But I think Conor Gallagher is that refreshment that we need in that 8 to 10s position-wise. I mean, depending on what – we don't know what's in Tuchel's mind and Tuchel's plan for him, because the likes of Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, consistency lacks between these German Bulldogs. And with German Bulldogs, when it lacks consistency, then that means if Conor Gallagher is playing, he has to do all the work as well. So we have to understand what Tuchel's plan exactly is for Conor Gallagher. But I think him and Mount will be 1 and 2s. I mean, if Conor Gallagher comes in this preseason and outshines Mason Mount, I don't care if Tuchel loves Mason Mount as his son. I don't care about none of that. It's who's going to get us the best opportunity to score goals and be a team player. Because if you notice, people scream goal and assist ratio for Mason Mount, but take a look at where he getting his goals and assists from, which matches. It's all from these bottom half of the Premier League table. That's not what we need. We can beat the bottom half of the league, but we have to beat the top of the half, the Liverpools, the Man Cities, the Tottenham, that small club in London that thinks they can play with us, Arsenal. But Mason Mount doesn't score against those, and he doesn't show up in those matches. I don't care what anybody can argue with me, agree to disagree. He doesn't show up in the big matches. He only shows up when we play the Norwich City, the Southamptons, the clubs that don't have no meaning to us, that has no pressure on us. That's not what we need for Mason Mount. We need something that's going to be better. But for Conor Gallagher, if he comes in this preseason and proves his worth, I think he and Mason Mount will play 1 and 2 together. Tuchel can fall in love with Conor Gallagher more than he can fall in love with Mason Mount, because Mason Mount's potential has already reached the limit. He only
No, it hasn't.
It has. I can tell you why it has.
With you, but go ahead.
I can tell you why Mason Mount's potential hasn't reached the limit. England has his national team has ran him into the mud by playing him so much. His club team has played him so much. What can he do to wow us or say that, oh, Mason Mount has got better? He it's nothing that he can do anymore to make it seem, because he won Player of the Year this season, if I'm not mistaken. He won Player of the Year under Frankie Lampard, under his father. So I mean, what? This season alone proves to you that this favoritism within Mason Mount, that's what makes him seem so good to us. He won Player of the Season by doing what this season? He hasn't done anything.
Have you looked at the numbers?
That's what I'm saying. You look at the numbers, but it's deceiving. The goals and assist ratio from Mason Mount only comes against small clubs. It doesn't come against big clubs. It's not. It's kind of coming when the games matter. It's coming when games don't matter, in my opinion. I feel Mason Mount is just being loved by the fans and by the club because he's Chelsea's carbon graduate. Conor Gallagher is the same thing, a carbon graduate. He can come in and do the same thing as Mason Mount, and he probably won't get the same amount of love because Mason Mount did it under his father. He didn't do it under a manager like Sarri. He didn't do it under a proven manager. He did it under a small manager, so we're still under that gaze. But that slowly is going away. But the point is, Conor Gallagher can come in and he can prove that Mason Mount has competition. Because the thing is, Mason Mount doesn't have competition. That is the problem. If Mason Mount has competition for his position, then we will see the best of the best go at it for the position. And I think Conor Gallagher right now is way more fresher. He has way more room to grow. And he has a manager that has no bias against him. Mason Mount had bias against him because he's a carbon graduate, and Frank and his father wanted to play carbon graduates, and we had a transfer ban. You can use that as well.
I think unfortunately, we have to move on beyond that because the truth is we're not here to talk about Mason Mount. And what I'm going to do, I think I have to schedule one of the Blue Money show we have to talk about in detail because I totally disagree with you on Mason Mount. I think he's a fine player. I think we're actually lucky to have him in the team. I think he's so important to the team and that Thomas Tuchel himself overplayed him. And that's why even when he's mentally tired, you can sense it that he's mentally tired. His final decision making doesn't really make sense. But if you follow the game long enough, you'd realize this guy's just mentally tired. And when he was given time to rest, he rested and he came back and started firing again until he got overused again. But that's by the way I get your point. And I understand your argument. I'm going to try to catch up with the chat, and I'll come back to LSC with a question, and then I'll go to Nick.
Quick statement on that. Then you prove my point. He's been played so much, so how you expect him to get better? He already ran to the ground.
You sounded like he's not good enough. That's how I sensed it. That's how
he's a good squad. He's a good squad player. It's not like he's going to be He's not world class. He's just like Declan Rice. They're not world-class players. They're good squad players. They're not world-class.
Here's the thing. If the club don't give him a better contract, that's when you'll find out whether he's world-class or not. Let's just put it like that. But I don't think he's going anywhere.
But it's Chelsea, though. Chelsea will give him the best contract they can because he's a Cobham graduate. But do you think he deserves...
Because he deserves it. But this is an argument for another day. Let's just move ahead.
Quick question. Do you think he deserves a better contract than Reece James?
I can't say that. They both deserve improved contracts. They both have done great for the club.
But then again, you will see when the contract comes that Reece James will not get the same contract because of Mason Mount, because Mason Mount is favored over Reece James. Because it's favoritism.
You just be ready to lose. All right, let's move ahead from that topic again. The added time of podcast. There's no telling what Thomas Tuchel will say, and he's clearly said he's not going to change that much in terms of playing three at the back. His preferred system. Let me just phrase it that way again. But it remains to be seen. But Tuchel is known to switch up formation. Maybe he don't want to show his sense on what he intends to do next season. But that's, by the way, I say this is for you, Showtime. He said no. Man said his father. I know you get the point, Showtime. Exactly, Tobago, not the player he wanted. Let's see. Makes sense that Showtime jumps on when I'm not around. At Showtime, you know who's saying that, right?
Undeclared, yeah. There's a reason why I jump on when you're not around.
All right, I'm getting Nico from your end, brother. It says Philippe Arbo says Chelsea should not make the mistake of letting any of these players go, because with them you can find the energy, desire, agility, and passion for playing for the club. Here's the thing. I think one thing we'll fail to realize: we can't keep them all. They are academy products, but in some cases, if the manager doesn't want them, why do you want to keep them? And the players themselves, if you try to renew their contract, if they don't see a path to the first team, and you don't, and you want to renew their contract, they'd say no. They just and you don't want to sell them. They just run down their contract and leave on a free. It has happened to us a million times. And again, before I continue, again, I want to ask you to please. We have 154 likes. At the time, we had 200 plus people watching. We still have 115 watching right now. And I know if all of us haven't liked the video, and my statistics show, analytics show more people are watching that are not subscribed. So please take a second to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. And this link I'm sharing here right now is the link to the show, the season's review show that we're going to do later in the day. And please, I'd like you, even if you're not going to be there, take some time, click through this link that I'm sharing, go and drop a link, a like on the video to help me reach more people. So I'm going to move ahead. The class says, Showtime, give us next season outcomes since you can see in the future in a month. Again, I hope this is not coming across to you as insulting, bro. I hope you understand.
Trust me, anything Undeclared says, I do not take offense to it.
All right, thank you. It says someone has to score those goals. That's the truth. It says, Ryan Matt says, if we don't bring in a DM, I want to see Kante play in that position off the ball. That is his actual position. I wouldn't say that. Kante isn't traditionally a DM, but I think Ranieri used him there as one of the 260s at Leicester City alongside Drinkwater. I think Conte did that alongside what's his name, Matic. I think he can do better for the forward. Actually, I think most people underrate him because of his, doesn't look beyond his ability to win back the ball or break up play, if you want to phrase it that way. I saw Mason Mount at Vietnam's No Father player of the year, but hey, Showtime knows better than Souness and Keane. This son of nonsense is derisory and disrespectful. I would use the word disrespectful to me. Showtime, again, has the right to express himself the way he wants. Imagine Gallagher at Manchester City. He would outscore Phil Foden. It remains to be seen if he's a Pep Guardiola's kind of player. Again, so much didn't show up in the Champions League. So much didn't show up in the Champions League final. Are you having a laugh at Showtime? Again, at Showtime, you cost this. It's coming at you. But again, I'm going to try and catch up, so we'll move on. Mason has improved year on, and remember, Lampard kept improving year on. Mason is still to meet his, but he's not there yet. Yeah, and Showtime agrees, he's been overplayed.
How can you see how you compare him to his father? You can't compare him to his father. Two different positions.
Yeah. I agree.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, look, Mason Mount ain't a bad player, but he definitely wasn't the best player for Chelsea this year. He was nowhere near what he was 2 years ago. He's got worse. He ain't got better. So I don't know. Yeah, all the fans on the blue on the app, the Chelsea fifth stand. They haven't got a clue about football. I see them. I'm on there and I see what they talk about. They ain't got a clue. They don't even know what the game means. So, they don't. They go by. They go by what they hear. Mason Mount, the Banner Boy, and all this, and they like it. That's all. That's why they voted for him. He wasn't our best player, and anyone says he was the best player, come and see me right now, and I'll sort them out because he was.
See what will happen as LSC starts talking. I will do a poll to see who the fans will pick. You said Thiago Silva, right? That's your choice.
That's Silva and Rudiger were the best players. Rudiger was very close. Okay. And Rhys James was third. Where's Mason Mount? Where did they get Mason Mount from? That's really ridiculous. But I told you why. Because on the first stand, people on the little kids, 5, 6 year olds. Of course, they're going to choose Mason Mount. God, man. Yeah.
Okay, now here's the thing. I think I agree. This Mount isn't the player Chelsea fans are making him to be.
Yes.
In what sense? I want to know. But here's the thing. I think the issue with Mount, I think people find it difficult. You could say he's been labeled or he's been, stereotyped. I think people find it difficult to look beyond his industry. And that's the issue. People find it difficult to look Mason Mount. Let me finish. Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead. Say what you want to say, and then I'll come in.
1 second. Sorry. Yeah, look, I know people see Mason Mount, like you say, but because he's overhyped, young kids mostly, they don't see the real, what's going on. Mason Mount hasn't improved this year, and most of us know that. He hasn't improved. He was better last season. And like I said, on the fifth stand, it's mostly kids who don't know what they're talking about. And they voted for Mason Mount. But if you go on Twitter, or you make a poll and see what fans really think, who was the best player of the season.
All right. Before I go to LSC, here's the thing. What I want to say, and as LSC is talking, I'll put out a poll. Let the people in the chat pick. And I also do that in my community tab. Here's the thing. I think with people that the mean or however you want to phrase it, that look down on Mason Mount or say he's not a good player, they don't look beyond his industry. That's the issue, because he works very hard. He's actually technically gifted. He can dribble too. He has some qualities in him. He can finish well on his day. Is he a finished product? No, he's
And he
not
can
yet.
lose us in the Cup final as well.
Fine if you want to say that. But the truth remains, the issue is that people don't look beyond Mason Mount's industry. And I say I want to come to you to help us round off the Mason Mount argument since Showtime started it. What you have to say about everything you've heard us talk about LSG, talk about Mason Mount, Conor Gallagher?
Yeah, almost everyone was in unison in bringing Gallagher to be the direct replacement for or competition for Mason Mount. Yeah, that was quite clear. Yeah, but I think they have different characteristics, even though it seems as if they can play in the same position. For example, we know that Mason Mount likes to do some layoff. He likes to cut inside, and that makes him to commit fouls. But when it comes to area duels, Mason Mount is almost non-existent when it comes to area duels. But holding onto the ball, he can do that. Direct free kicks, is a bit good at that. Long shots, I think he has to improve on that. Taking on set pieces and making key passes, I think he needs to improve. The main issue here is this, like what Showtime was trying to say with Mason Mount. He's trying to say that he's reached his peak already because of the amount of games that he's played.
Has he?
I don't know. I'm just trying. I think that was what he was trying to say. That
I understood. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, he's played a lot of games and all of that. I think he still needs room. There's still room for improvement for him because some of the things that he's good at, like taking long shots and scoring free kicks and stuff like that, they need to improve. So if he's been
how old is he again?
I think he's about 23 or thereabouts.
Yeah,
I'll look it up. Go ahead,
23.
He's 23.
Okay. 23 moving to 24.
Yeah, Nick, you could say moving to 25 if you want to. I get your argument. Go ahead, LSG, please. Sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, so in that regard, it can, it can be very effective, but he needs to improve on the things that he's doing already, But for Gallagher needs, he's played a lot of games, with City. I mean, with Crystal Palace. We know he likes to tackle, he likes to dribble, and that makes him, get a lot of fouls as well. But when it comes to defensive contribution, I think he's way better than Mason Mount. He likes to be direct and he has an eye for the goal. Yeah, but in my opinion, if I'm going to use Gallagher in any game, irrespective of the position, I would just bring him in second half when the opposition is already tired, because this guy is a workhorse. He's just going to frustrate the opposition and give us a possibility to win. Yeah, it's going to be. I don't want to see him go, but I don't know if the club, in terms of raising funds, if it is true that you have to sell to raise 200 million, I see him going on the shopping block, because that would just be heartbreaking. And in terms of for people that want to see academy players make it in the first team and all of that, I think we need a holistic, a comprehensive approach, a strategy, a new strategy in our academy. If are brilliant, as brilliant as they are right now, I think they need to improve. They need to do better in terms of. I think it's because we've been having different managers over these years, So every time, the tactics change, If you notice, our women team, sometimes they use the three at the back as well, in almost most of their games, So I want to see a strategy where we know that these players, is going to be our next 11, right? Okay, so go and start picking them up when they are 13, 14 or whatever, all right? Bring them in there, all right? La Mesia, that kind of thing. Instead of having the eye of say, you know what, we are going to sell them and ship them out, If we know they're already good enough, all right? That's why we need good scouting, the director of football. If we know that these players are already good enough, first 11, and they are winning in the under 17s, the under 18s, we know their records, they've been winning. So it's a question of, let's have world-class players as our first team, as our first 11, then bring the academy as our second 11. But I think if it comes to that, there are still people that are going to be moaning about it. They are going to keep saying that we don't bring in our youth. Chelsea is not a club where the youths are where they will make success, into the first team. And when other young players, out there and parents, when they hear about these things, they don't want their son to come to Chelsea. That's the problem. Just imagine a scenario where even a player like Livramento, will find it difficult competing with Reece James. But both of them are academy players. So what I'm saying now, we are going to be having the same issue with Mason Mount and Conor Gallagher if we keep him. All right, these are two academy players competing for the same position.
Can I come in 1 second, LSG? Yeah. Well, what makes you think we got to sell Gallagher? You think there's a chance we got to sell Gallagher?
Yeah, the reason I'm saying it is because of the rumor that is going around on how we are going to, that we need to raise money. We need to raise.
But I don't think we're going to sell one of our best up and coming players to raise money. If we do that, like we did with De Bruyne, it will backfire, and everyone be going after 2 seasons, 2 years from now. Why did we get rid of our best? And look at Gallagher now, best player in the Premiership.
Yeah.
So if we can't sell a player like Gallagher, that'd be tough. If Tuchel is that mad, I don't think Tuchel would do that anyway because he knows how good he is.
Let me say this.
He has to. Mason Mount has to have competition. Showtime is correct. He needs.
No, I wasn't saying Showtime is wrong. I guess he has the right to express his opinion, and I'm sure he's not mad at me for saying that.
It's good to have. We want competition in every position. We want Mount, Gallagher. We want Lewandowski, Lukaku, well, whoever. We need two great players fighting for that place, like we had it before.
So let's finish. Let
me finish my point. Right, I'm not advocating for Gallagher to be sold in any way. If you listen to what I was saying, right, I say that in an attempt to raise these funds, right, okay, which I'm not happy with. Okay, you talk all this talk, like Showtime was saying earlier on, not happy with Boehly and all of that. I'm in the same boat. You know that, coach, right? I'm in the same boat. I want to see what he's going to do. Now you're saying we have to sell. And if we are going to, if you say, Nick, if you're saying that no one is, Gallagher is not for sale and all of that, you name the players in our academy right now, that have the prospect of giving us the most money. Okay, so if we are going to be selling, it's going to be the best. People like Broja and all of that. I don't want Broja.
We have to stop doing. We done that in the past and it backfired.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's why that idea of selling, some of the prospects that we want to see in the first team needs to be squashed immediately. All right, and the new owners right now, they need to do better. Instead of advocating for sales before we start buying players. That is only going to set us back in the window. Our rivals, our competitors, they are already buying players left, right, and center. You see, we saw Man City just got Allen. And if we are not careful, they will get Cucurella. These are our targets, or basically the fans' targets. I don't know if it is the club's target.
Yeah, but the other thing, sorry, I asked you. The other thing is, buying a lot of players. All right, 3 or 4 we need a defense and a midfield. Now, buying too many players doesn't make things easier, makes things worse. The team will never gel properly.
Yeah. So my point is, how do we raise that money? Yeah. How do we raise the 200 million? Where is that funds coming from? Is it coming
we
from?
Have enough players.
Because we are not going to get money from. We are not getting money from Rudiger. We are not getting money from. We're only getting little money from Alonso. If Aspi go, we are only getting little money.
Aspi might go. You got all the dead wood. They will make money from them if they get rid of. How many players we have? We have a whole team of dead wood.
But that's what he's trying to say, Nick.
How much are you going to get from them, Nick? How much are you going to get from them?
How much are you going to get from them?
Whatever we get, but we can't go out and buy a different team.
Here's where I agree with you, Nick. Here's where I agree with you, so that we can move on to the next topic. I don't think the club will sell Gallagher for obvious reasons. Again, I think he's up there in terms of the academy products who are good enough to be part of the team. And Tuchel likes him. He's spoken with him on occasions, except if this is the case of how he says good stuff about Kepa Arrizabalaga in public, but he does something different in private, and treats him like, he should be playing for a tier 10 club, something like that. But that's by the way. And let's see, are you all caught up so we can talk about the next player? Because we'll have just a few minutes to round off.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, go ahead if you want to respond to what LSG was saying.
Yeah, I just want to say this. I'm in agreement with LSG when it comes to Gallagher, because at the end of the day, Gallagher can pull a Gehi and want to be sold by himself. He can come in and be like, okay, Tuchel's going to put me on the bench and I'm going to play 30 minutes only. I'm way better than that. Okay, I want to be sold. Sell me. He can come in and force a sale. We have no say in what he wants for his future. Although he's under contract, he can come in and be like, nah, Tuchel's not using me the way I want to be used. I'm going to go.
That's actually the trend. I'm getting the feedback that's the trend right now for Chelsea Academy players.
Exactly. And the reason for it, because anytime I come on this stream, you notice I always say this, the pressure is coming from external forces. It's coming from content creators that are putting pressure on them. And some of them even have connections with these players. They call them, they talk to them and all of that, all right? I'm not going to mention names, but this pressure is coming. You see what I'm saying? So anytime, an academy player like Tino Livramento, for example, with the Reece James situation, he doesn't even want to be a competitor to Reece James, which is another academy player. You see, so we can't have them all. Chelsea's like Oxford. Oxford cannot absorb all their graduates. They will only absorb maybe few of their, best students that wants to be lecturers.
Yeah, we can't keep them all.
We can't keep them all, So if the new owners are saying we need to sell players to raise funds, and we've not heard any transfer rumors for people like Baba Rahman that is there. That's a dead wood there. Have you heard anything from any player, any club looking for him? We have other players. We have Miazga, we have Bakayoko, we have all these players running around, in the loan. And next season, we are only going to be allowed to have 6 loans, 6 in, 6 out. So this is the time to clear.
That changes a lot.
That changes a lot. So this is the time to clear, all the dirt with the new owners, bring in players, world-class players that fit our system of play, all right? And the moment we clear people like Malang Sarr getting 120K a week, can you imagine that? Malang Sarr and Trevor Chalobah is on less than 20K a week. That doesn't make sense. You see what I'm saying? So we need to clear out the deadwood and get a better financial structure. Whoever is responsible for this mess needs to go. Bruce Buck, I don't want to see his face there. I don't want to see him at all. He claims to be a lawyer. He's never been effective for Chelsea. Chelsea is one of the clubs that get the most fines, all right? If our manager says something, he gets fined, all right? FA at one time, they were just using us to raise money and then send it to their football foundation. You see what I'm saying? They were making money. It became a trend, some seasons ago. That was what they were doing. Anytime we say something, we express our opinion against our frustration against the referee decisions and all of that. Okay, we get fined. It's never been effective. We get we get sanctions from the UK government. It's never been effective. Our board are very, very weak. All right, they don't have the connections. They don't have the pedigree. All right, whether in Parliament, whether in the House of Law, anywhere they don't have. So we need solid people with solid connection and solid background to run our club.
Yeah, let me again. Thank you. Let me catch up with the chat. I'll come back. We're going to switch to the next topic. Nick, you want to say something? If we just take a few seconds, please. Let me catch up the chat before it's too long.
Yeah. What else you just said? That's what is correct. Bruce Buck will go eventually. Boehly's going to be the chairman. He's going to be like the chairman. He's our owner with the group, but he's going to be the chairman. Buck will eventually go. Not this year. Next season, I can see him gone, and maybe Marina as well, probably, and a few others who don't have a clue, like you said. They haven't got a clue what they're doing. That's why we got in this mess. That's why we have all the dead wood still here, and we can't get rid of them. So it's a big mess. Yeah.
I doubt Todd Boehly is going to be the chairman. You know why? Because he has so many hats to fill already in the States that it's going to be too much for him to juggle when he has to go back and forth from UK into the States. So I doubt he's going to be the chairman. He's going to be one of those other custodians.
Yeah, that makes sense. And again, if I saw your message, bro, I appreciate you finding time to join. If this, again, I'm going to keep sending you the link so that whenever you have time, you can join. I agree with Nick. Thiago Silva is our player of the season. And just realize, if you say that again, I'm going to unmod you. You're not going to be mod anymore if you keep supporting Nick. But we go back.
Just realize you know your football. I know, I can see it from your comments. It's not just because you agree, because it's true.
Okay. No worries, Nick. I'll give you the result of the poll, and I know you'll be even happier when you see it. But we'll come back to that. So again, I was just kidding. Again, we don't hate Mount with just being objective here. That's what we do here. Nobody. I'm not saying anybody hates him. Nick is presenting an argument. Showtime presented an argument. And I'm presenting my own argument. And the truth is, whether you like it or not, Mount, people hardly look beyond his industry. That's why some people are seeing him as a bad player, if I'm allowed to put it that way. Because usually, when you're a hardworking player, usually people hardly look beyond your industry to see, like, actually, you're a technically gifted player. Another player we've had in the past who people say like that is what's his name, Ramirez. People hardly didn't look beyond his industry because he's quick, he's very quick, he's tireless. That's why people don't look beyond industry. That's notwithstanding that he's a technically very, very technically gifted player. But that's, by the way, we have somebody else to talk about because we have just a few minutes to round up. One of the reasons we won the Champions League last season, a big sum team, reason beat Liverpool. I wonder calling him not again. I hope he's talking about Mason Mount. Tell me where Lampard will play in Tuchel's system. I really don't know, actually. And again, you could argue Lampard may actually not be Tuchel's kind of player. And again, I don't know. Player of the season is Rudiger. Okay, we'll see. We know agenda against Mount for season, so we understand. Yep, again, you could argue that. I don't think I'll be able to read everything, but I want to look at this one. It says, divisive fan base. That's the truth. And this reads, Nick Lee, you make out so that Titi knows nothing either because he always plays Mount. You could argue that given what Nick has said. I would pick Reese over Mount. They don't play in different positions, so I don't understand. In the same position, I don't understand that argument. Again, Toxic FC starts again. Again, you could say that the position Mount played this season is not his natural position at all. He's a midfield 3 player, not a winger. So I cannot put all the blame on him. It's not a bad season for Mount, no matter how you see it. Even if you think Thiago Silva should be the one to win the best player for us, I don't think I don't think it'd be nice. Okay to say that Mount is a bad player. Rudiger, okay, this is the Tobago Televis Mount is 23. Rudiger and Silva over Mason Mount for the best player of the season. Why do I say this? Imagine when he had to play without either Silva or Rudiger and the effect it had on our team. Again, you could argue that. And please, the link I shared, I pinned it at the very top. If you haven't, please click through it. Go help me drop a like on the video, even if you're not available for the show in a few hours. And also like the video, like the current video. We have 157 likes. That's a chance we may well get to 200 likes by the end of the show. So if you haven't liked the video, and I'd appreciate that. Mount did not start versus Wolves, Tuchel's first game. Yeah, because he didn't know what he's capable of doing then. But when he realized how, that he gives 150%, plus he's a good player too. He can impact the game. He started playing him, and he hasn't stopped playing him. He actually, in fact, overplayed him. Letterson, Lukaku, Chelsea, and Inter are exploring a possible loan deal for Lukaku. However, Chelsea would ask for a loan fee of 12 million, which could cause a problem. Yeah, because we don't want to take the L, and it's a big L. We already know we're going to take an L, but we want it to be as small as possible. An option to buy could also be included, or a structure that spreads a payment over several seasons. That makes sense too. Again, it will be good for the player and for us too. Phantom, how could he play for Pep? Lampard left 2015. Guardiola joined 2016. Again, Tuchel, I joined in 2018. Steve, I voted Silva because I thought he was the best player this season, but I want Mount in my first 11 anytime, any day. A good argument there. You might find he would want to leave if it doesn't get into the. Don't even think about it. He's gonna leave, and there won't be shortage of suitors for him. If you're talking about Gallagher, again, he's gonna leave if you don't play him, and he says, okay, he even shows any sort of dissent, club will start coming up for him. Again, I'm going to try and catch up because I cannot read everything. Then later on, I'll try and read as much as I can until we have a studio engineer. Again, now I'm going to come back to the panel. And LSC, I'll start for you. I intentionally moved down the talks of, we're looking for a DM for sure. That's certain. Now, how about if an Ampadu? What do you think? Because he can fulfill that role quite well, and he's also versatile enough to play as a centre back, of which we saw that in the Champions League when he was on loan in Germany and they played against Tottenham. He ate up the Tottenham attack. He didn't allow them. He didn't give them a chance. So why is he underrated? Is it that we don't trust him? And he's still young too. Yeah. So how about considering Ethan Ampadu as a DM option? He doesn't have to start all games. Especially if we're going to spend almost the whole of the 200 million in solving the defensive issues we have now. Why not go for Ampadu? I think he can fulfill that role very well.
Yeah, I think you said it. Underrated. I actually like the player, I like what he did against Tottenham. He's a very good player, and he's doing it in Wales. He's in Wales team as well. When it comes to ball interception, I think that was one of his very, very strong fixture, and talent that he's got. He can hold on to the ball. He can play through balls in. He likes to tackle. But I think the main thing that I've noticed, when we're using Sperling in most of our games in the previous season, has been his level of concentration. I think he needs to improve on that, and his profile. One thing about football, it's about profiling. It's about the people that are on your side, the people that are hyping you up. He doesn't have those bears and whistles. Hyping him up. In the eaters. So that was why he's just one of those players that, what, yeah, let's leave him. I think he went on a loan to Sheffield United, right? If I'm not mistaken.
But that was a horrible decision. I think
Yeah,
they got him confused even more than he
yeah,
should be.
yeah. You know, so if he can, I don't think he can play as a lone DM. I don't think he can do that role.
I think he can actually, but go ahead.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he's good enough to do that. I want to get us True Blues opinion on that. I think if
Because
can
when
play
it
as a
comes
single
to,
six. But go ahead, brother.
yeah, because yeah, I understand that he likes to shoot from distance. He have that passes, which is one thing that indeed he doesn't have. You know, indeed he likes to play short passes. You know, I've never seen him play like long passes, like long through ball and stuff like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but Aiton can do that. You know, he can play that long ball. He likes to shoot from a distance. He likes to play off the ball. You know, yeah. So if he can work on his discipline, you know, and concentration level, you know, uh, whoever is managing his profile, you know, as a footballer, you know, his
Mm-hmm.
agent and stuff like that, and I think he needs to change them, you know, so they can because he's getting how old is he now? I think he's getting older, you know.
I think he's in the same bracket as Mount. Let me check. Let me be sure. Let me check and not to
Yeah,
give
just
you a course. Yeah, but go ahead. While you're thinking, I'll look it
yeah,
up.
yeah. So whew, that's how many academy players we have in our team now, right? We've got Rhys James, we've got Chaloba, we've got Mason Mounts, we've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek, we've got Austin Odoi, all right, and we are clamoring for Broja, we're clamoring for Gallagher, we're clamoring for Billy Gilmore, we're clamoring for Ethan Ampadu, right? Let's
Yeah,
be
but they all
realistic.
won't be starting games.
You see what I'm saying? Let's be realistic. That's what I meant to what I said earlier on. How do
Mm-hmm.
we appease this fan base that want to see our academic players? Somebody said earlier on that if Gallagher is getting 30 minutes, he's going to be mourning, he's going to be crying because he thinks
Mm-hmm.
that he deserves to play, he deserves more, he deserves to play elsewhere. This is the mentality. What kind of club are we? Yeah, are we at the very, very top or we are struggling? I don't understand this anymore because the standard has fallen. Let's think about it. Let's be realistic. The standard has fallen, you know, from the days of Aneka, you know, Balak, Droba, you know, the days of, Florent Malunda, Solomon Kalou, and all of that. These
Mm-hmm.
players will be on the bench and they are not crying, they are not mourning. Is it because of social media that now allow us to express, you know, fans to express themselves? I don't know where the issue is. Okay. If you want to play for Chelsea, you believe that Chelsea is your destiny, you want to play for this club, why are you giving us conditions? Why are you telling us that if you get 10 minutes, 20 minutes here and there, next season we are going to have like 5 changes, 5 subs, all right? So if you are not willing to stay or to be a competition for Mason Mount, please go. Go and we sell it for a good money. The academy is set up there to raise funds for the club, all right? And we can integrate some of the best players in our team. That's the purpose. Now they want to make it mandatory. Anytime we are linked with a player, all right, we hear
Mm-hmm.
people saying, "Oh, where is they start looking for the academy equivalents." All right, they start looking for the academy equivalents.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's why we didn't get. That's why we didn't get. One of the reasons we didn't get Ashraf Hakimi. People were considering Rhys James. You see, they look at the period that Rhys James was injured. Imagine we had Hakimi. You know, we would have maintained our level to the end of the season. So when we are making this decision, this conversation, let's take into consideration issues like like red card suspensions, you know, injuries. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if they are
Mm-hmm.
going to bring the Archie COVID back anymore. All right. If that is
Mm-hmm.
not part of the game, no more testing. No more. People fail to realize what Thomas Tuchel went through this season. People fail to realize. All right. There was a time we were appealing to have our match, suspended, postponed, to other dates because of COVID, because of injuries, because of suspensions. We were never given those. We were never. But Arsenal were given, Liverpool were given leeway. You see what I'm saying? Even one of the press conferences, Tuchel was saying, if I hear that Arsenal game was postponed, I will do XYZ, blah blah blah. All right. But Arsenal game was postponed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the club did not do anything.
Yeah, I think I think I truly do understand your
We
point.
need
And
a big squad. We need a big squad.
Yeah, that's the
And
truth.
if these players want to be part of it, right? They must. I think they need to be like an additional contract. And they don't speak to the media. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. If you want to be at this club.
I think they should. And again, I thank you for that input there. I'm going to try and catch up with the chat. Ampadu is decent a cover for RCB. RB, DM. You could add the goalkeeping position to it too. Mikai said Ampadu, Gilmore, Gallagher all needed to be brought back to see if they can get with TT's tactics. I think that's important for us. That's why they have to be part of the preseason to see if they will work with, Tuchel system, Broya and Cowell as well. Exactly. So he makes his choices, and I don't think he'd keep them all. I think some of them would have to go back on loan or be sold. True Blue, I think he even had better stats than Lampard did in his first season. Again, they're having a conversation there. If we can keep Ampadu, he will play some role. Again, that's important. Imagine letting a younger Messi go because Ronaldinho was in the first team. That's another way to see it. He says, because I dislike to complain of players off position. We all have argued against that. And if Staff was here, he'd argue the same too. That annoys him the most, actually. Let's not buy any new players and just play the academy players. Yeah, I get the sarcasm there. Again, let me see if there's anything else to address here. Again, I'd like us to move quickly because we have just a few minutes to round up. We're changing loan system Impact Academy severely. I think well, in the sense that you're limited to number of players you can send on loan. That's important. So what are you going to do with them? Keep them all? Probably sell a few of them or keep some of them in the under 23. I'm not sure of what would be the best solution to that. Lampard 21, again, that statistics, I'm not sure why you guys are reading it. So it says, Steve Chester says, imagine Lukaku post season still our highest goal scorer. Yeah, that shows you how bad we are. Exactly. I don't think he would be crying for only getting 30 minutes. Do you think Kai is a good number 10? You could argue that Kai can play as a number 10. He can play as a false 9, or he can also play as a number 8. He can also play as a winger again. But I think if you ask me, I'd say his favorite is. That's me. That's how I see it. I think Kai is best utilized as a second 9, where he just drops deep to get involved in the play. And sometimes create a space for his for his striking partner. And again, one thing about Kai, he's always well aware of his surroundings. That the slightest of chances or spaces he gets, he can do some damage to the opposition. Since most of the players now realize it's a squad rotation, yeah, that's what it is, because we'll be participating in a lot of competitions, so rotation will be key. Again, there's a downside to rotation also. The more you rotate a team, the slow the chemistry between new players will be really, really slow because they don't get to play together in a real match environment or atmosphere, if you prefer. Ampadu 21, I will bring him back anywhere across a back. Even as a center back, he does quite well. Remember, go check Ampadu Champions League. He dealt with the Tottenham, attackers. He actually defended very well against them. So I don't know why. Is he underrated? I don't know what's the case. Or they need him to get more experience. I think we should bring him back, actually, and not even spend too much on the center-back position because he's capable of playing very well there. We should try to be more objective and support the team. That is the truth. LSG, Hakimi rejected Chelsea. Can we keep to the facts? Again, you could argue that. I would like to see Lukaku move out and see Werner and Broya starting consistently. What are your thoughts? Werner himself hasn't been consistent at Chelsea, so he may well be seeking to leave the club, but you never know. Coachila, I was offering facts, not holding a conversation. Okay, I didn't know Again, thank you for that. Thoughts on Julian Starling? I wouldn't say much about him. Isn't he warming the bench right now? You let me know if I'm wrong. Time for me to go. See ya. See you tomorrow, Leah. Always nice to have you around. Apartment TT already said DS is coming back. If he keeps him, Lord knows, but we'll see what happens. Bruno Kamistar says would be alright, but I'd go for Jonathan Klaus. Did you know he's a CFC fan? Transfer would be a dream come true. If he's a CFC fan, that makes the whole thing easier. But let's see what happens. So Bruno or so for Sancho.
I did mention that player yesterday, if you remember, Jonathan Klaus.
You did.
He said, if you know, he said Chelsea, they play the game, you know, the team that you play for in the future ever is Chelsea, you know, and he can do the business, you know. If we can get that guy, he won't mind being on the bench, you know, he wouldn't mind, but he's a very good player. He's not going to complain.
Then if he gets his chance, he proves himself. Again, I want to say thank you for 159 likes. I think I'll be going to Nick's round of the show for us. So if you haven't, please, I know we can do better than 159 likes. Please drop a like on the video if you happen to help us reach more people, and subscribe to the channel to help us grow. Right now we have a 2,000. I can't see it right now. Sorry, but I'll come back to it. I think we gained nearly 50 plus subscribers this morning. Again, thank you for that. And I want to thank you guys for yesterday that we reached 2,000 subscribers. If you haven't, like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you are in the chat, please, I beg you, you will see I pinned it at the top. Please drop a like on this video for me. Again, I'm going to send it one more time. Click through it and drop a like on the video to help me reach more people. So Nick, coming to you, tell us what you think about Ampadu. Should we even be looking at DMs? Because he can fulfill the DM role. He can also fulfill the role of a centre-back perfectly. He's that good.
Yes, I remember him. The first time I saw him, he was a centre-back. Yeah, he's still young, and he is good. You know, I think he should be given a chance, like you said. I think he will be pre-season. He'll be there. He's a good player. He wouldn't be in the Welsh team if he wasn't. And when he does play for Wales, he's like Billy Gilmore. He's very good. They're international players. You know, so he should be given a chance. I'm sure, and he's going to become a great player. I'm sure. So we don't need to go crazy and buy too many players, which we won't anyway. But overall, you know, we need two top players, not backups. You know, we have like Mason Mount and Gallagher. It's good competition to have Gallagher there to make Mount, fight for his place. You know, it's not to think, I'm in the team next week. Luke likes me, I'm always there. That's what he thinks right now. So when you have Gallagher coming back, it's going to be different. We can't. We don't want to sell I'm sure thousands of others don't want to sell Gallagher and have him go on and become a great player at Liverpool United or anywhere else. Which we've done in the past. We can't do that again. And Gallagher, he's young, don't forget, and he has everything. He has a goal. He has a goal in him. The cross, which we were lacking so much. Only Ziyech could cross a ball, perfectly. No one else can in that team. So it's going to be a big rebuild. Slow rebuild. And let's see, we get 3 or 4 players in, I'll be happy to mix up with the players we have. And we have great young players still, coming through like Broja. It's going to be hard for these youngsters like Broja because you can't expect to be in the first team straight away. They have to fight for the places.
And that's the thing. That's what we want. Fight for your place.
Yeah.
You're not coming in to replace anybody. So
that's what we want.
any young player coming back must, they must it's important that they recognize that you're coming. You're not coming to displace anybody. You're coming in to fight for your place. And if you do well, you get the chance to start.
Coach. I think they know that. They're young, but they do know that, and they have to prove themselves.
But like LSD has said, Nick, some of them don't want to. They don't want that competition.
If they don't want to, then they can go. If they don't want to, Chelsea always, in the past, we had two, like she said, we had two teams. One first team, and we had a B team capable of being, the first team. We had all that. We need it again if we're going to compete with City. Because City, they do have that. Doesn't matter who they put out there, it's the same thing. We need to do that to get there and win the league again, because it's a long time now. 5 years is a long time for Chelsea. I had to wait 50 years till we win the league the first time, but now, considering what Roman's done, all the good he's done, 5 years is too long. We need to be back there.
Yeah, Nick, while I'm with you, I want to get your final thoughts before I go to LSD to give us his final thoughts. But 1 second, this comment here is very good. I think this Mark of Aurélien, I think he understands football very well. He says if Tuchel wants to play in 4-3-3, Rice is the best choice, because during the defense, when we defend, he becomes a fifth center back and helps a lot because he can play in that role too. So this makes a perfect sense. So in fact, this is a delicious comment from Mark. And Mark, I hope you've already subscribed. And thank you for that comment. So Nick, your final thoughts on everything we've talked about today.
Yeah, that's what we need to get this preseason. Give everyone a go. Give everyone a chance. Young, old, whatever, new players. They're going to come in. They're going to have friendlies to prove themselves before the season starts. And Tuchel can then choose his top 11. Choose his top 11 and choose also the second 11. That's what you need. And he's going to have enough players to do that this preseason. So it's up to Tuchel now. Forget about last season. He done wonders with the players, like we keep saying. Wasn't his players. He done miracles, really. Now it's his chance to really show what Tuchel is. And we know he's a great manager. And first of all, we want to see him tied down to a long contract. Make sure Boehly gives him that contract. We need a long-term manager for once, which we haven't had for centuries. It's so long now, I can't remember. The last long manager was Dave Sexton in the 70s. And he was a great manager. RIP Dave Sexton, who won us our first trophy ever. Not the first trophy, the second, the first FA Cup ever. He was Dave Sexton. We need, I see similarities with Tuchel, with him. It's such a long time ago, but he's that sort of manager. And I'm sure Tuchel will get it right. I trust Tuchel like always have. Everyone's human. They make mistakes. He made, a few with Kepa. But I'm sure he's going to learn from them. So, we have a good future to look forward to. There's no reason why we can't challenge next season. No reason. With the players we have and the players we're going to get, we should be challenging City next year.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope that happens. LSE, your final thoughts so we can round up the show. It's been a brilliant show overall, I must say. And again, I want to see if there's anything to catch up there. Steve Chelsea says, no Sugar Daddy anymore. And Isaac Omar says, all the best Blues. Oh, thank you very much for that. Says, what's your opinion on Bissouma? I think he's a good option for us. And as the rumors have it, I think that the club are looking at him. I hope we'll get him. Again, barring the issue we heard that he has, of which we're hearing he's a witness. He's not the suspect himself. But we see what happens. And let's see your final thoughts on everything we've talked about today.
Yeah. So on the issue of of the transfers.
Mm.
I'm cautiously optimistic about it. I want to believe that we'll get the best players that we want, and everything will be done at the right time. That will be as quick as possible, so we can start on with the preseason by July. So when it comes to players, talking about Conor Gallagher coming into the team
Mm.
and competing with Mason Mount, because that's just a logical progression for him. But the question is, does he have the patience? Does he have uh, um, the love to stay and say, you know what, I want to stay here and prove myself? I'm not going to be mourning or crying when I don't have opportunities to play. Realize that he's in a big club, and
Mm.
you should be happy for the opportunity to even be in the first team. I remember a time where the only academic product that we had was John Terry, right? Then later on, we had Ryan Bertrand, right? You know. But now, look at our team. It's filled up with academy. The core, the spine of our team right now is basically made up with academy players. You see what I'm saying? But people are still complaining it is not enough. It is not enough until we feed the old Lacobam into our first team. This is what, anytime I have the opportunity to be online, I will continue to speak against things like this. People that are pushing these players to be making these decisions. Imagine saying that you cannot play 30 minutes and be on the bench, for a club like Chelsea. Remember the history. So if we are going to get up again and compete and be at the highest level, we must look at City squad, look at their bench, all right? And then consider our squad and look at the bench. Okay. If these players are good enough to make it, let them be. Let them be in the team. If they are not good enough, yeah, if can Akpandu win us the Champions League? Can he? Can he be the main person that we want to win the Champions League next season, right? Who are we relying on? Akpandu. You say, does he have that pedigree? Can we trust him enough, yeah, to be the main man and not make any signings in this position? This is what we must ask ourselves. Are we ready to go 2 seasons, yeah, trophyless, even in the cup competitions, without having complaints and sacking the managers? Somehow in a weird way, I'm sad that Roma is no more, and the way he left and all of that. But it might also be a blessing in disguise for Thomas Tuchel because that guy would have pressed the button by now because this season would have been considered not a good season. You see what I'm saying? You know? So maybe Tuchel would have been walking on eggshell, not knowing what his position is. So with the new owners, I hope at least this is one of the managers that the whole fan base, at least majority of the fan base wants. Just like we wanted Ancelotti, and the third one would be probably Jose Mourinho in the first stint. So in this direction, I will say that it's better we let Thomas Tuchel make the decisions on who he wants, because right now we don't have director of football. So let's, with the team that we have, the management team that we have at this point in time, let them do their best, but work with Thomas Tuchel on what he really wants. All right, not
Okay.
you know what, I know you want this, but we are giving you this. I know you want this, but we are giving you this. I think they were doing that. The club were making these signings earlier on because I believe they were not sure the manager will be there for a long time, So they were making signings that would work for the club, okay, without considering the managers. That's what I'm saying. So now it's a perfect opportunity to overhaul the team and get to go what he wants. It is a time to sit, sanitize everything, in a clean slate. All right, Tuchel, if you are capable of playing the 4-3-3 system, because that's what most of the fan base wants, all right, please, this is the right opportunity for you to do it. I'm not complaining, all right? If the 3-4-3 winners, the Champions League and all of that, go ahead with it, bro. Go ahead with it. But if you can play 4-3-3 system to accommodate some of our players and some of our potential signings, then go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Thank you very much again. It's been a brilliant show so far. Again, I want to thank everybody that's been a part of the panel right now. It's just I and LSG, and I can't thank you enough for finding time to join. For everybody in the chat, from Christian Henry, again with your inputs there, Steve Chelsea, and also Mark Ferriella. We had Victor Brown, Mikhail, my friend and brother, Just Viola was there, Isaac, Omar, everybody else. And if I miss your name, apologies to you. I'm only human. With that, we've come to the end of today's Blue Morning Show. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for another Blue Morning Show. Take care and God bless us all. Bye.